Shut up, I'm trying to watch Judge Joe Brown.
Mayonnaise, Dijon. And I'm like, part of me is like, what was that?
I mean, did you eat your pineapples today? That's my
Get out.
But I had a green smoothie.
A detox.
Simple
Segregated
times. That's it. There was literally a hashtag that says for Michelle. I'm talking about Michelle Williams from Destiny Shop. I was too busy using our house computer for porn. I didn't necessarily.
Bad AOL.
Right. I was not into watching the little pictures scrolling slowly. Like, oh, yes. And I know you are naked right now.
This is ladies' night, and our rhymes is tight. Oh, this is ladies' night. Oh, what a night. Can I? No one's gonna give me the bass line.
Oh, what a night.
Thank you so much.
Well, see, that depended on which version you were singing.
We discussed it was not the Commodores.
There's no bass line for that.
I'm really glad to know that even on Ladies' Night, I still have problems with my intro. Thank you guys so much for sticking with the plan and making it difficult per usual. Ayo! Welcome back. This is your girl, Coley. This is episode 12 of the Nights at the Round Table podcast, season 3. What's good out here?
Yo! Hola!
Thank you so much. These voices you're hearing, I know you feel like, oh, there's no bass in these voices. You're right, because it's Women's History Month.
That's right.
I mean, do they need the bass? Because I can get the bass.
I can find
I
it.
can try.
All the bass.
We have kicked the boys out for an episode, and I'm here with my girls today. So y'all kick back, relax, pull up, plug in. It's gonna be real good. Who is all over here with me? Y'all say what's up.
Hey, it's Miranda.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
And Tiffany. Are we giving like extra other than our name?
Right. No, go ahead and do the round table. Who we got on the other side over here?
Oh, it's Miss Nikki. I'm back
Yes.
again.
Fan favorite, Miss Nikki. These other two voices that you guys heard are some very good friends of ours. To my left is Tiffany.
Yes.
You guys heard her husband on the pod 2 episodes back. Lex Bibbs was here.
Shout out, Lex.
Tiff and I have been friends since 2007.
Yes.
Me, her, and Nikki running around in the streets together for a very long time.
The Charlotte sheets were not safe.
Not
They were a
safe.
different breed back then.
It was not safe.
Yes, it was a whole different city, different us, different everything back then. Tiff, anything you want to say to the people? Welcome. Thank you for being here.
I'm excited. Fan of the show. I'm just excited to be here. Shout
Yes.
out
First time
Najee
chatter, long time caller.
and Esquire.
Yes. In their absentia.
Thanks for letting us be here to take over.
Yes. What did you say? What is it, lurker? What did you say yesterday?
Long time lurker, first time caller.
I love that.
Well,
Hello.
to my right is my homegirl Miranda. We started out as work buddies, and now we are never going to be away from each other anymore. It's one of my new besties. Tell the people about yourselves. What's good?
Well, I'm just happy to be here today. Yeah, that's all I got. We have to cut that part out.
That's
There
fine.
you go.
You will also hear the stylistic stylings of Nancy and possibly even CC. They're here in the background hanging out with us. Hey, guys. Yes, Nancy, as always. So as you can tell, this is Ladies' Night. We're going to have a good time. We're going to talk about all things women, what it means to be a woman, what it's like, all the stuff that we love, because we're the most important during Women's History Month and always. I wanted to bring together different types of women that are in my life. My friend Tiff here, she is married, as we said before. Miss Miranda over to my right is a mom to a beautiful little person. Nikki is,
She's out here.
She's out here. She's an educator. She's in love. And I'm over here just in the wind. Doves in the wind, sheets in the wind. Yes, that's
Also in the way.
I don't
yes.
think you're in love with life.
I am.
You are loving life.
I do.
And life loves you.
So we're just out here in our different experiences. We're going to share a little bit with y'all. But first, what are we drinking on? Y'all know the rules. Everything is normal, except it's just ladies. What you got? What is
I'm
that?
drinking a Supernova
Ooh,
blueberry sour owl.
all right. Do you like it?
I love it.
Where's that from?
Where is this from? You gave this to me. It's from Legion. I found out it's from Legion. I read the back of the can.
I feel like blueberry
it's
always
great.
makes stuff better.
Absolutely.
Except when it's a sour.
If you hate it, just put a blueberry in it. It's fine.
Oh, that's
It works
fair.
It's interesting. It's good. Local brewery. Shout out Legion Brewery. We love
Some
you.
cooking tips from
Listen,
Miranda.
this JMO,
Cooking with Randy.
This JMO and ginger
Right.
is hitting really well.
JMO and
Thanks to,
Ginger. Yes, Miss
Nicole
Nikki and I are on the whiskey. JMO and Ginger, a favorite.
Can I pretend like I have liquor?
You can do whatever you want.
Bojangles legendary iced tea.
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yes.
It is a
For those of you not in the
classic.
South, Bojangles, better than Popeyes?
I think
so.
they taste different.
They are
They
different.
They're
taste
different
different.
moods.
Bojangles
I
chicken is more
enjoy good
crunchy, I think.
Bojangles.
Popeyes has like a weird, like not weird, it's like a juicy type thing
It's
going.
like Cajun.
Bojangles is real.
Like I don't think Bojangles
crispy.
is Cajun-y. Is that weird?
It's not.
Their
So
Cajun is not Cajun.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
taste different.
it's just like hot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
that is
spicy.
true.
Yeah.
It's spicy.
They put some red pepper on the thing and called it Cajun.
So I would,
That's
never,
not
I
what
would
it is.
never jump into that fight.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I was just asking. We got people out there in the world, don't know what Bojangles is. It's good.
Fair.
You know?
I haven't eaten Popeyes a lot too, though. The little
I have
apple
not.
pies.
I have not. There's not a Popeyes close enough for me to go to it.
Listen, that chicken sandwich is worth it to go to the one on
is
Tryon.
Maybe.
It's delicious.
I don't know.
good
I do vegan things now. So
Oh, that's right. You're fancy with your vegan food trucks.
With your salad, your burger salad.
Yes, my burger
Burger
salad.
Salad in shape of a burger.
Don't talk. Don't roll your eyes about the ice capades. Okay. Don't do that. No, it's good. It's good. The laughs are still good. The drinks are always flowing here at the round table. So a special. This is your note. Find your notes gonna be very different this time because it's ladies' night. These are gonna be a ladies' night playlist. We'll drop with this episode when you guys hear it. All of our favorite women empowerment songs that make us feel great, songs that make us love to be here as a women in the world. So, what are some of the things we can expect to see out here? What y'all got?
Well, I'll kick it off. I have "So Good" by Destiny's Child.
I'm feeling so.
Yes, that. And also, I have "Let Me Blow Your Mind" by Eve.
Oh,
So two spectrums,
That's
but
a throwback
both
for you.
That is
empower
a-
me. So
let your bones crack. Your back pop. You can't stop.
preferably that verse, I actually resonate the most with.
This is good.
Excellent.
I'm definitely going to contribute "Where My Girl's At" by 702.
Ooh, yeah.
Like I know all
Okay.
the words top to bottom
Yes.
when that
Yes.
song comes on. Okay,
Yes. I love it.
that's all I'm going to share right now. I'm going to share the rest later.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, since we're going girl power, I'm just gonna add Rihanna's G for L in there.
Ooh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you did
Because
that.
we're friends.
Yes.
And our ride or die.
Yes.
Yes. Need be.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Do y'all remember when Rated R came out?
I do.
Coming from a great album.
That was so good.
We thank you, Rihanna.
Thank
Come back
you so
anytime
much,
you want.
Riri.
Anytime you want.
Let's see. I'm gonna go with "Electric Lady" by Janelle Monáe. That's one of my things that I have on here. So that's gonna be one of mine. We're gonna have the place is gonna be crazy. We did our absolute best to not turn it into a Beyonce playlist.
Which is
We
easy
almost
to do.
succumbed to that.
The whole thing. And Destiny's Child.
Just throw any Beyonce album on there and it works. But y'all look out for that. It's gonna be really good. Lots of really fun, good music. What else you got on yours, Miss Nikki? What you got? What else you got? Give me one more.
"Mood Forever" by Beyonce.
Ooh, that is.
Hey,
I'm gonna add that one
That is.
because that's a great one.
That'll work. Tip, what you got?
I'll add a new one on there. A little Ari, a little Jasmine on there. I'm just saying,
Ooh.
Okay.
embracing your sexuality,
Yes.
Yeah.
your secret talents, but you need to know you can't just get those.
Yes.
What do you have to give to me in order
Yes.
to receive these talents?
Yes.
I mean,
Fantastic.
we're just owning these things in life.
I love it.
Yes.
I'm so here for that. I'm so hyped about it.
Century woman.
I absolutely
I forgot how much I enjoyed
Love
that
it.
song.
I mean, it's just like to sing it out like that. You're like, oh,
in a
this
harmony.
is- in
You
a
know,
harmony.
just like what? That's so good. I'm so glad. Let's see. I also my the Beyonce that I put on purpose was "Don't Hurt Yourself." Love that song.
Yes.
Because
Great
like, don't
collabo.
play with me, okay? As a woman, as anybody,
Yes.
do not. So that, all that and more, you guys are gonna see on the playlist that will drop when this episode drops. So keep a look at it. It will be on the Spotify and the Apple. It's gonna be real good. Get you fired up. Go out with your girls. Put your drinks on. Get your freakum dresses.
Yes.
Okay. Outside is coming. If y'all out there in Texas, go ahead and be outside. Okay.
Ain't no
You
love
don't have-
songs on there.
You don't have no power. You don't have no
I was gonna
mask.
say,
Just get
apparently
outside.
you can't be
It's
inside
all
anyway,
good.
so
We with y'all.
damn.
We're gonna take a real quick break before we dive into the good stuff and take a shout out to some people that we love that do some cool things, some other cool women out here in the world. Hey y'all. Smell 'em Candle Co. is a poetically inspired aroma company that desires to enhance all of your senses.
Their soy blend and coconut oil candles give a strong fragrance that fills up a room for more than 72 hours of burn. Smell 'em Candle offers all things aroma from oil burners and tea light babes to silky smooth body butter and oil-infused hand sanitizer. Their mission is to prompt self-care through peace and serenity by delivering quality products that bring love and happiness. Smell 'em is a small black-owned business striving to be the best of the best within our community. Founder and owner Chantel is Tell 'em the Poet, and she is creating stimulating word frames and fragrances from her heart to yours. If this isn't your favorite aroma company now, it will be soon enough. Catch the vibe on Instagram at smell_em Candle Co. and on Facebook at Smell 'em Candle Co. Click on their website and find your favorite scent today. P.S. The Round Table has a dangerous infatuation with the black bourbon scent. Check them out, and we'll see y'all soon.
Hey, welcome back. Shout out to our biz partners out here in the world. We are back for this shit right here. Like I said, it is ladies' night, so we're about to have a really good time, dive into some cool subjects here, see what these wonderful ladies have to say, what they think about some stuff. But before we do that, it's time for our corporate shot. So wherever you are, pull up a chair.
It's a corporate shot.
As long as you're not in your car, pour up, pull up.
Where does the corporate come from?
Corporate, like everybody.
It's
Corporal.
professional. Oh.
Everyone.
Oh, we're just taking a professional shot.
That's what I thought it meant.
That's what I thought it meant.
We are having green tea shots here at the table today.
There we go.
Cheers up. Shout out to Cece for the shot glasses.
Ooh, delicious.
Ooh. Ooh, baby.
Woo!
Okay.
That's how
That's very good. You did good. Yeah.
That's delicious. This is ASMR right now.
Yes, those are very good. Shout out to the people in the world. I took 5 green tea shots last night trying to get these right for my friends.
It's
We appreciate her
perfect.
dedication.
One thing I'm going to do is drink and look out for my friends, okay? Even if I have to do it simultaneously. If nothing else.
Nothing else.
I will do that. So, ladies, it is Ladies' Night. It is Women's History Month. We're going to talk about all things us. We're out here in the Pantene Pro V. It's been really crazy. And we were just talking about getting older. So as we've gotten older and we're living our lives, self-care, loving yourself, is super, super important. What's the deal on self-care? What does that look like for you guys?
It's definitely needed, especially well, since I'm at home all the time. You know, you just got to take some time away to do something different.
Yes.
So I know for me, I picked up reading a lot during this
Oh,
time.
that's good.
Good for you.
You know, random stuff. I can't. My last book was about the Tulsa stuff, so that probably wasn't the best.
Oh, so you're getting deep into
The
your
rest
like reading.
wasn't
Nice.
the best
Okay.
read for relaxation. But I mean, you know, the typical hair. I used to get nails done, but then I don't like to spend money. So.
Fair.
Same.
But it felt good when I was doing it. It felt good when I was doing it, but yeah.
Has self-care always been important to you? Or is that something that's new for you?
I think I always did it, but never labeled it as, oh, this is self-care. I just like to treat myself.
That's true. Miss Nikki, what you got?
For me, self-care has been such a loaded word this year because as a teacher, they're just like, all of this stuff is happening and it's chaos, but make sure you practice self-care. So like every time I hear that word, it like triggers me now. My self-care is very simple. It is like just not doing work.
Yes.
So if I am like sleeping, if I am binge watching a show, if I'm not moving, that is self-care to me. I think the biggest thing is I decided I wanted to read more. So I'm trying to do like 1 book a month.
Nice.
The month of February came and went and no book.
No
so
book.
we're going to try again this month.
Yeah.
But I did read one in January.
It's early. You can do it.
It is, it's the beginning of the month. But I also got into bullet journaling, and that is like a new thing for me.
Bullet, like bullet points?
Part of it, and also I don't actually know where a lot of the word bullet comes from. It's just kind of like a
Not
genre.
the whiskey.
Not the whiskey bullet, although I might drink it while I'm doing it. But it like gives me my creative outlet and allows me to also kind of journal my feelings. So the
Nice.
combination is good. And so that's where I'm at with self-care. I think it's super important, but I also think that the agenda of pushing it so much is taking away from it.
It's making it cliche.
Yes.
Like, yes.
Like when somebody
More of a
says
task.
self-care to me, like,
Yes.
are you making sure you're doing self-care? Like it just, ugh.
Right.
Hives.
I got it.
Yeah, I'm doing what I need to do to survive. That's about it.
Excellent.
I definitely tried to start journaling, and I have 4 days in that journal.
It's a lot of focus, right? Like you actually have to sit
You have
and
4
do
more
it.
than
I
me.
do today.
I stayed home again.
Cue the music from Alicia.
She always had a lot to write about.
She had a
So
lot
lucky
going on in
her.
her life.
There's not a lot going on right now.
I sat on the couch today.
Right.
On the left side this time,
It
because
took
the
me
right side's
45
sinking a bit.
It took me 45 minutes to find my new show. I was disappointed about that.
So it is hard to find things to journal about. I think I'm more just doing more like highlights, gratitude,
Smart.
Yes.
self-esteem,
nice.
personal affirmations.
Nice. Good.
I'm not like journaling like pages of my day because
You're so
otherwise
evolved.
I'd just be talking about my kids all day.
That's gonna be great to look back on it. Yeah.
Brenda, what about you?
nice. Whew, self-care. I've been trying to take better care of my skin. So I guess I focused on that, not
you
as
go.
productive as like journaling or reading.
No, skincare
like
is
I probably
That
should
is
be.
important. That's your face. You only got one.
Only
Yes.
got one, you know. So I guess that. Making sure that I'm like doing my job when I'm at home. Just to be real honest.
Staying
important.
financially.
Because I won't have a self to care for if this job
Right.
didn't work out.
Right. Instead of binge watching my shows, because that's what I'm doing instead of reading.
And that's
To
fine.
each his own.
You know, and just making sure my kid is like, she's good and she's
Mm-hmm.
okay. That's where I put most of my, I guess, energy.
Does she have any
These days.
self-care?
Any self-care for
When she's
Madison?
not schooling.
So here recently, so she has a cell phone, and here recently she's been FaceTiming her sister.
Oh, nice.
So literally, as soon
Building
as
relationships.
as soon there you
Yes.
go, building relationships. As soon as school's over, she's like, "Okay, I'm calling Aaliyah." I'm like, "Okay, sounds great." So they'll be on FaceTime while they're like,
it.
"Are you watching this show with me? I'm watching the exact same show. Great, we're watching it together.
that's
Sounds
that's
good."
special.
I miss
So-
That's
that.
good.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's it. We're just making it day by day, you know.
That's nice. I think for me, actually, I read an article this morning that said the title of the article was "I'm no longer going to be on time for work," and I was like, "This is interesting." So I clicked on it.
And not get fired.
Right. But it was about like this whole year for me. Like we're coming full circle on the Ponderosa, and it's like it's been a whole year, and I spent this year at home doing whatever for the most part.
Yeah.
But she was saying like I'm tired of getting up in the morning and rushing to my computer. Like I'm tired of doing that and like feeling so compelled to do this thing. Like no one's clocking me. She's like, I've finally reached a point in my professional life where I don't have to rush to the computer. I am, and I identify with that. Like I'm a salaried employee. No one's looking for me. I have this pending thing in my head making me feel like they're looking for me, but they're really not. They're not checking for me. And she's like, I make it a point. I get up early. I do. But I don't log in to maybe 9:30. And if I don't get in at 9:30, I'm not really bothered by that. And no one's bothered by it either. And I make it a point to do a workout, take a walk, cook a breakfast, read a little journal, do something like just to prepare myself for what's coming next. And I thought to myself, you know what? Yes.
I like that.
Because I typically get up just in time to log into my computer just to like busy myself doing something else. So I took that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do better about that. And I've been doing better anyway, just, taking walks outside in the morning, just kind of loosening up and like not focusing so much on this job that will replace me tomorrow if I die.
Very true.
Then for me, like it's the self-care is like paying attention to me and what I need. I notice that I'm like super cluttered mentally when I'm rushing to do something. So let me get up and ease myself into my day because I have the luxury to do that. I'm very blessed. I'm thankful everybody can't, but since I can, that's what I've decided to do.
I feel like that got me in trouble in 2020. Because there were some days I wouldn't log in or open the computer. So
I need the structure, so luckily,
you're my
like, I
employer.
Well,
have
and you
to show
have
up.
well, you have to, yes.
I have
Yes.
to.
you have to be on the
That is
video.
true.
Yes.
So that is my motivation. Like, I can't just be late. The children need me.
Well, and I think to
I'm
be
literally-
late is like it's kind of it's subjective. Like I'm gonna log in obviously, but I'm not so pressed. Like, oh my god, I gotta get up and I gotta log
You
in.
guys do your jobs and you do
Yes.
it well. I feel
Exactly.
like you shouldn't be clocked because you
Correct.
didn't log in on time.
So
The
I'm,
work's getting
I'm
done.
gonna get a workout. I'm gonna eat a breakfast. I've started cooking breakfast like for the last
Yes.
couple months. Like I miss that.
I miss that.
Little eggs, little bacon. Just eat it. Have a cup of coffee. Once it gets warmer, I'll sit back on my patio. Like I'm excited
A
about
cup
that.
of coffee
Yeah.
that's not in a thermos to go.
Yes.
Go, yeah.
It's
Yes.
in an actual
Right.
coffee cup.
Yes, and my little mermaid mug. That's what I had this morning. Yes. So that's good. No, I love that. And it has not always been important. I think the older that we get, we were talking about being 35 soon. I think that's it's the older we get, we have to take care of ourselves. Because if we don't, like you only have, you talk about your face, you only have one body. This is the only one you get.
You only got one brain.
Yes.
Speaking
One
of
body.
taking care of your body, I worked out 4 days in a row, you guys.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
amazing.
I did it this morning too.
Oh,
Yes.
look at you.
On a Saturday.
What is working out?
That's
That's where I'm at.
What
What
is
is
working
working out? What is
Granted,
that?
it was 15 minutes on the elliptical
Hey.
every
No.
single day.
that is
but
good.
it
Take it away.
more than I
Yeah.
have done in a long time.
No, you have to do it. Like Miss Nikki this morning, she when she got here, I was like, I'm not ready because I worked out and then I was like realized what time it was, and I was like, I'm not ready right now.
I don't care.
But-
Yeah, you can be late. You worked out. I did not.
It's all good. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Let's see, because we're doing all this self-care, because we're getting evolved, and we feel much better about our lives. That means we're better functional in our relations to other people. So let's talk relationships. Our most, some people's most favorite thing, some people's not. Like I said, we've got some different.
we have two ends of the spectrum here.
Yes, we have very opposite ends. We've got happily married. I'm assuming.
Very happily
We got happily married.
Just so you know.
Yes, and super single. On the other end, so lots of stuff on the in between. But let's talk relationships, ladies. Like we're at different points. What's good on relationships? What's some journeys looking like?
Listen, I feel like I'm going to speak because I'm right in the in between.
Okay.
I am not single. I am not married. I am right here in this like sweet spot right now.
Yes.
I think that it's ironic that in the middle of a Panda Express, I found a very healthy, functioning relationship.
Yes.
And so I celebrate it. It's something that
Nice.
I think as you get older, you hope to find that. And being at the age that we are, you sometimes think that that's not going to happen. So I feel like, with your mental and how that's evolved over time, I think I felt like I was ready and I did find that. So I feel like being in a relationship right now is exactly where I want to be. I'm not in a huge rush to get married. It's something I want.
Meet me at the altar.
But I'm just really happy in my relationship. I feel like that's a good thing. Like,
Yes.
I don't think you should be in a relationship to just like want to keep moving to the next step so quickly, but really just
Enjoy
enjoying where you're at.
Yes.
And I've never had that before. So
good.
I'm really like reveling in that.
That's very
I like
good.
what you just said, enjoying where you're at. I feel like that's where I am. Because
That's good.
I don't want a relationship. I'm not looking. I've deleted all the apps. I haven't brushed my hair when I'm at Target doing my pickup.
That's good. Let them know.
This is me.
Don't even like. And you're not even looking. I understand. Don't even look. It's fine.
That's fine.
Nah, I'm just,
good.
I'm focused on me. I'm, focused on my kid. I'm focused on my job. I want to do something different in my career. So like, I feel like I'm hyper focused on that because I'm thinking about that. I'm buying a house right now.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about that.
Adulting so hard right now, and I love it.
I'm just like, I'm not even. It's not even. I don't even think about it. Versus in the past, I've been like, I need to get on Tinder and swipe so I can go on a date. And
Now you're just like, whatever.
and I feel good that
That's good.
I'm not in that atmosphere.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
yeah,
That's good.
just happy to be here.
That's good.
It makes me, so I've been married. It'll be 8 years in April.
Sorry.
Yes.
Does that
Fantastic.
sound crazy?
That is
That is
amazing.
so awesome.
8 years
crazy.
together for
That's
how
beautiful.
long?
That's
We've
beautiful.
been together. This year will be, is it 12 or 13?
Oh my gosh.
Over a decade.
I
Right.
still see myself as in my 20s, so when I hear that,
Right.
Mentally, I'm in
that,
my
don't,
20s.
that don't add up.
Yes.
But
We
I
met
mean,
in elementary school.
right?
Y'all been together forever.
Yes. They.
For sure.
Yes.
We have been
I think I've
together
only
for
known you
forever.
1 year outside of him.
Yeah.
So it's
Has
just
it
like
really? It was only a year before we became friends.
because
Yeah,
we all
we-
had that class together,
Yeah.
and then the following year was senior year,
Right.
And that's when they were together.
So we've been friends the
Yeah.
whole
Yes.
time.
You guys have been through the journey as well.
Yes, the
You
journey.
know it. But yeah, I love how you both said like it's about enjoying yourself,
Yeah.
knowing yourself, being married in this. Let's see, Pandora.
Yes.
I mean, it's been good. You continue to learn each other, continue growing yourself. I know I found myself listening to like marriage podcasts, just not even because they're issues, because you just want to grow. You want to be a better person.
Yeah.
Love the word grow.
For him and for me, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So, I mean, it's been fun. It's been a journey. I can't say that that it's been like issues. So
Yeah.
the Lord has blessed us.
That's good.
Let's
I
say
think you
that.
guys
really
are doing
good.
really well because you've grown together.
Yes.
And
For
it's not
sure.
necessarily a growing apart.
Yes.
It's a growing
Yes.
parallel to
Yes.
each other.
He loves
And
to
I've loved
say
that.
that he grew me up. I mean, We grew together.
Is that because he's old?
You see
Is
me
that 'cause
grow.
he's
You
old?
see, we both
That's what
seen
it
each
is.
other grow. I mean, because we're both young. I mean,
Yes.
Right.
he's just a
Why
couple
he acting like
years
he's so
older
old?
than
Yes.
me, but we've both just seen each other grow through. I mean,
A
big
lot,
times
yeah.
of,
So
in
much
our lives.
stuff.
You know, I mean, we were young, so you learn a lot through your 20s. So
Right.
it's been good.
That's beautiful that you said, like, with growing. I think some people think, like, oh, like, the objection is to get married and then we're done.
And then that's the
Right.
end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
You
a
know.
work in progress
Yeah.
all the way up.
All the
I
way
mean,
up.
yeah.
And it's crazy because you know how a lot of people say, like, women think about marriage when they're young. Like, that's not
No.
something I never planned my wedding when I was a kid. I mean, I thought about boys and I just wanted boys like me. I never thought about getting married. I mean, my family was, I mean, married women all around me, but it was
Yeah.
never like, marriage, I need to get married, I want to get married. So it really wasn't until I was with him, it was like, oh, I think there's a step after this.
Right, like, whatever that
Oh, I
is,
kind
I
of like, you know what, I like
I
you.
kind of like you.
Yeah. I
I
like
think
you,
I'm
yeah.
gonna keep you for a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's really
You do the dishes and
interesting.
everything. We'll do this.
Well,
oh, okay,
no,
yeah,
we
we'll
are-
skip that. Just edit that part out. Just edit that part. Sorry.
but you know, it's interesting as far as like, just it's not something that, as I was younger, that's like I need to
Nice.
be married.
Right.
It just came along with it, came along with life as we grew up. So
I think what you said, which kind of leads into where I am, there was something that you told me, you said a long time ago. I think I asked you, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I asked you what made you make this decision after all this time or whatever. And what you said was that you looked at him one day and you were like, it would just suck if you weren't here.
Yeah.
Like that's what, like,
It should be as simple as
like
that.
that's
Yeah.
what made the decision for you. It wasn't this
sure.
like huge epiphany. It wasn't like I gotta do this, and that is something that stuck with me. Like I think about that when I'm out here. So I do have the abs. Those who follow me on the Instagram, you see my agitation from day to day. It's partially a social experiment. It's also partially serious. I don't really. It depends on how I'm feeling. I don't know. Like today, I'll be swiping because I'm dressed up, so I would like to be seen today. But tomorrow, it'll be completely just out of boredom. But what I know is that when I get to that point, I am looking for something that someone who just won't suck. If they're not here,
Is that
then
where
I'm like,
the
you know.
bar is?
Right.
Well, no, just
Put
like-
the bar, raise the bar.
Well, no, like no. I mean, where my life, it would not like you have to enhance my life.
Yes.
Yes.
So that
yes.
statement that you made is like it would suck if you weren't here. Like if I woke up one day and this person is not here, how do I feel about that? And what I realized that I meet a ton of people that I don't care if I never see you again in my life.
Yeah.
So that's something that sticks with me, and that's very it's. You think it? Oh, you meet a lot of people that are really nice. Yeah, sure, but I don't have to see them anymore.
true.
So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at with it, and I'm open to it. I'm out here, whatever. I've got lots of wonderful, healthy relationships around me. I'm not super pressed, but I wouldn't mind it either.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what's on my profiles also. Like, I'm not trying to like meet you at the altar, but also we're not going to one night this thing either.
Right.
So
I like it.
I'm in the middle there, but I'm open to whatever happens. But I've also had a lot of time, so much time. We talked about this last episode to know me and myself. I know exactly who I am.
Yeah.
I know exactly what I'm standing for and what I'm not standing for. So
How important is that, though?
it's so
Yes.
so
oh
important.
my gosh! And we don't even realize it when we're young and dating and running around with whoever. Sorry,
You're not gonna get me caught
Super
up.
important.
Like,
Right.
it's not.
True.
I'm not at a point where I can be tricked into anything.
Exactly.
No man's gonna pull the wool over my eyes at this point because like I know I can smell it a mile away.
And
So
that's true in marriage too, because you don't want to lose yourself in
Yes.
being his wife. You want to be yourself as well. You're
Yes.
your own
Right.
person. So
Right.
yeah, you definitely gotta know yourself.
and that's been cool too. I've seen you like as you guys have gone along. Like Tiff has always been Tiff.
Yes.
She's never become
There's
this other
no
person.
disappearing or
Yes.
changing. It's always just been
Yes, I've seen people get in relationships or get married and they change and it's so drastically different because you know things are going to change. They're
Yeah.
not going to stay the same. They have to.
Yeah.
But there's always been a balance that made sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I love that. It's like that's the kind of thing that I'm shooting for. Like I don't want to be this other person. I want this to enhance my life.
Right.
This person is here, but then so is my life,
Right.
and we move together and we do whatever. And that's what I think is super important. And I'm wherever it comes from, whenever it happens, I'm out here for it. Sure thing.
You know, I'm praying for y'all on these dating apps because the stories I hear.
Listen, I was so
why is it
happy
like this?
to be
She's
done
gonna
with
have to
those
send
apps.
my man in the mail. That's all I know. Put a label on that thing.
Hopefully
Wrap
it's
him
not
up.
USPS because
it's
they
not.
are
He'll
struggling.
never make it.
He'll never make it.
My
back.
never make it.
My phone just told me I have a package. If that's not him, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So
Yeah, that's all I know.
it's like you don't have no more men up there. Just say that, guy. Like,
Just
what are
say
we
it.
doing?
That meme was everything. Oh my gosh.
Just say that.
So I was thinking, like, when it comes to relationships, if you're not in a relationship, I think that's where friendships are super important.
Yes, for sure.
Because
Yes.
it does give you a lot more time to focus. But even if you are in a relationship, I think friendships as a whole, they change and they grow. So I think that is also super important to note. Because I know for me, I want to keep my relationships just with my friends. Just because I'm in a relationship doesn't mean all of a sudden he's the only one that I'm going to hang out with and I'm not going to hang out with anybody else. But I can also see in a marriage, like, he's going to come first.
Right.
And your friends need to be able to adapt and grow with you in that aspect too.
Yeah.
So.
But you need those friendships as well to just have an outlet, you know.
For sure.
I mean, I don't want to have to be around him all the time. I want him to be able to experience his friends.
Stay on your side of the house.
I know I'm amazing, but I know you have amazing friends too.
Yes.
So you can go out and have
There you go.
fun. I don't want to have you all to myself. I want other people to experience your greatness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's good to have
That's a
those
real
friendships.
nice way to say, go on somewhere else.
Go on somewhere.
Have you had any friendships that, like, have had to be removed?
That's a good.
That's good.
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
Because we always talk about all the good stuff, like my friends support me in my relationship.
Yeah,
Like,
because your marriage, I mean, it does have to come, first.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess. I say
Luckily, I
guess,
can
'cause
say I can say no because my friendship circle is small, and I can say I'm a very quirky person where the people who call me friend and I call them friend, I appreciate them because I'm not a huge communicator. Like, I'll hit you up every once in a while, but I appreciate my friends who aren't like, why don't you talk to me every day? Like, that's just not who I am.
Yeah.
So the friends that I do have, they know who I am. So, and they're good people, and I don't think it's ever been like,
That's good.
oh,
That's what's up.
you can't hang with him or we can't hang with each other because
Nice.
it doesn't go with my marriage kind of thing.
Right.
I like that.
That's
Nice,
good.
nice.
It's been good. I haven't had any, and I don't think he's had that either. So
Good. I think I've been super blessed. My mom always says to me and my sister, when we were younger, she's like, friends, y'all got each other. And we're like, yes. Yes, we do. We have each other. And luckily, like, the older that we get, my sister and I, we are closer than we were when we were younger. And I think that just comes with time.
Yeah.
But also growing up, just my friends, like, I've always had really, really good friends. And the older that I get, like, two of these women, like this, two of the women sitting here at this table have been with me for a very, very long time. And then you have met me later in life, but, like, that's super, you've met the newer version of me. You didn't see all the before. But the version of me that you've seen me deal with a lot of things in the last 5 years, and you've been here with me with that, so that's cool too. But they're super, super important when you don't have that other thing.
Yeah.
And even for yourself, like a friend to remind you to do the things that you need to do. Miss Nikki and I think we've had all of the different stages of friendships.
All the stages.
Like, we've had all the crazy stages
Every
of a
single
friendship.
one.
But at the very end, we always end up right back where we are. So it's just like it's good to nourish them, to talk through them, to push through them, and have them. I think they're so very important. And not to I have a note here, like, about all the stuff we saw on TV, like, you had your girlfriends living single, like, you saw all these people on TV, like, oh my god, me and my girlfriends, I want us to be going out and doing stuff when we grow up. We're gonna do it, like, at the bar, at the club, at the Central Park, wherever,
Right.
you know.
And then COVID.
And
Sorry.
just we going out today though.
No, we're going out today.
We'll catch the sunlight.
They definitely, like, set a bar. They definitely created a sort of a plan or even just, like, skeleton that, like, our best friendships, what would they look like in their journey. But I think over time, especially because when those shows came out, we were younger. So we weren't having those experiences. So when we got older, that was kind of a goal. But then we were like, all friendships aren't like that.
That's not how that works.
So, like, it shaped us, but it also helped us realize what actually is genuine and what's not.
Exactly.
So,
Yes,
like,
yes,
again,
yes.
when Girlfriends came out, and we now can watch it in our 30s.
It's so much
when
better
it came
now.
out, we were
Yes.
in our early 20s, and it doesn't resonate the same.
Yes.
And now I'm just like, oh, wow, they were actually toxic for each other sometimes.
Yes. Super toxic.
So now I'm like, my friendships, we're not dealing with that stuff because we wouldn't have acted that way. So I
Yes.
appreciate that for sure.
Yes. I love it. Your thoughts on the friendships?
Yeah, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I've always had a very tight circle. I'm still probably one of that I can remember, my best friends from middle school, I'm still friends with today. And Nicole has really been my only adult friend And that's really how I roll. I mean, that's, she keeps me sane throughout the...
Tight circle, no squares. Shout out, Ho. Tight circle, no squares.
Oh, tight circle, no squares. Hey.
I like you mentioned adult friend.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've never made another adult friend.
Like for real, for real.
Like an actual, it's
Yeah.
like you have your coworkers that you're like,
Yeah.
oh, what's up? Good to see you. Or you might go grab a drink with, but here I am doing the podcast that like last night
Yes.
that you called me to do.
Just put it out there. She is a pinch hitter. She came in right at the end and was like,
Because that's what friends are for.
And
okay?
anybody,
In a clutch.
anybody else I've known from middle school that I would call a friend.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think it's harder for you to make friends as a woman and as we're getting older?
But also as a mom, it is.
Okay.
Because it's not something I think about, to be honest. Like, it sounds cliche, but it's literally as soon as I push this little person out of my body, a switch flipped on and off, and it was just like, oh, I only really care about what happens with you.
Yeah.
That's completely fair.
That's important. I never. I mean, even Nicole would tell you, when we met at work, it was like. Miranda wouldn't talk about anything personal. She wouldn't.
I don't think I knew you
let
had
my
a child
guard
for a minute,
yeah,
actually.
I just was super like professional and would only talk about work with people. And I don't know what happened, but
Slipped through.
You slipped through, yeah. But I've been like that forever. So not to ramble on to say that I only have one friend, but that's basically what I'm saying.
No, that's important. And I think that's why I was asking, because you mentioning that it doesn't sound terrible. You have one friend, your circle is closed.
Yes.
Why? What makes her so special? How did she get through?
How did she slide in there?
How did she get in there?
Have you met
I
me?
know-
What are you talking about? No.
Because I know for me, like the way
I
that
honestly
grew
don't
up,
remember. The only thing I remember is we went to a bar, and then after that,
friends forever.
we were friends. I don't know what happened.
That's all it happens. Sometimes that's all it takes. Because like for me growing up, like growing up military, I've moved around so much. So I don't have, like you mentioned, middle school friends. I know who they are.
Yeah, but
I
you
see
couldn't
them on
follow up
Facebook,
with them back
but
then,
we're not like friends.
Yeah.
So I have my friends from college, and then I have my friends from my sorority, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
And even then, that circle is still small amongst that.
Yeah.
And so for me, all of my friends are like adult friends to me. Like I don't have any childhood friends. So for me, friendships are super important because I had developed them later on.
So you've made more adult friends.
Yes.
Really,
Yes.
because of the way, you were brought
Yes.
up. Okay.
And
cool.
so like I'm always fascinated when people are like, "Oh, we've been friends since kindergarten." I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah. No, I did
what's
change
that
schools a
like?
lot.
I know
but
who I went to school with.
I went back and forth between the same schools. So,
And that's cool.
they're like, oh, Miranda's back again. Hey, girl.
But it is harder to make friends when you're older because you're like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
These are great.
yeah.
I'm fine.
Well, and that's true because I think Miranda was the last person that I became tight with. It's been almost 5 years. So it's just like you're the last person
At first
that
I was
let.
like,
who is this other person?
Who is this other person?
it?
Who is this person trying to be friends with my
friend?
Right.
Yes.
I was like, who is this? And then I was like, oh, she's
Yes.
cool. Okay.
But I'm more.
She's okay,
You get more
guess.
picky the older you get. You don't
That
have
is
a
true.
need for so much stuff. And I've
Yes.
always been like a super social person. But the older I've gotten, I literally make sure like it's only a certain amount of people, certain groups of people. And you said Tiff mentioned something about like I'm glad my friends understand the kind of friend that I am, and I know that. And I reach out like every night, hey Tiff, what's good? And then like we'll just be like 2 statements, and then that's it.
Right.
And like we don't have to talk every single day. Even Miss Nikki and I, as close as we are, we don't talk every day. So it's like it doesn't. Everybody knows your level of friendship, and that's okay to fit in wherever it goes. But I know who is down for me. I know who needs to be here. I know who I don't want to ever be gone. And the older I get, it's a smaller and smaller group of people, and I'm okay
Amen.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's totally
You just
fine.
don't have the patience to deal
Yes.
with
Patience is
foolishness.
important.
Patience.
Like,
that's it.
oh, I see that in you. I don't like that. I'm not. That's okay.
All it takes
Right.
is one small thing.
Yes.
If I get to a point where I'm going to tolerate something, I
Yeah.
don't have the
Absolutely not.
energy.
Yeah.
Not at all. We're not gonna do that.
Too tired. Too old.
Reason number 491, Nicole's my only friend.
I like how you mentioned, Nicole, how like it's how you approach it, and as you get older, you know the lengths of friendships.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you guys' mothers and friendships? Because my mom's got 2 friends.
Somebody else go first.
I just wanted to throw that out there because my mom's got 2 friends.
I don't.
You're her friend. Are you one of those two?
I am one of those 2.
Is her sister the other one?
No, it's not actually.
She's not like the
She's got a
singer.
friend that she met when we were in California, and she lives in Oklahoma now, and they live in Virginia, and they're still tight.
Sure, when you said that, I don't think my mom. So my mom has 4 sisters, and they're for sure
Okay, that's
her
different,
friends.
yeah.
But anything outside of them, I don't think she has any. I'm like, Mom, you ain't going. She don't do nothing. She stay at the house. But I think that's what, for me too, growing up, my family, my cousins were my friends.
that's
Like I really didn't have outside friends like that. Like maybe one, but my cousins were my friends. So I think that's kind of how, because we were always together with family.
Yeah.
So I don't think my mom has friends.
So she really likes you having like
Yeah,
a
that's
close
why
group
I
of.
call her every day. She calls me every day. If I don't call her, I get a text. Hey, are you okay?
Right. Hey,
I'm
how you
fine.
doing?
I
What you
really
up to?
am. I'm okay.
Oh, my mother says hello, by the way.
Hey, what up, Shelly? What's good? It's good.
I forgot I was texting her on the way here.
Yes. No, I think, as I said, my mother was never the person that had a ton of friends, having 6 sisters. And she's the same way now. She knows a lot of people. My father's a preacher. They're out here in the world doing stuff all the time, but she fucks with her family.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like, that is all it is. And she will ride or die for us. And we were different in that way. She didn't understand when we were little. We wanted to have sleepovers and go to sleepovers. She was like, why?
Y'all got each other.
And I'm like,
Why?
and then if I want to have a sleepover, okay, well, Joy will be there too. I'm like, but Mom, why? You know,
My friend.
and it's like,
Mom.
what do you mean? But it's all, I mean, and now she knows who those people are. She'll always ask him, how's Nikki doing? You know, how's Stevie doing? How's your friend with the dog? How's that going with the new
friend with
dog?
the dog.
Is it good? It's just like, you know, whatever things that she remembers about these people that I talk about all the time. That's always
She's in
been
it now.
who she is. And she's glad I got him, but she don't really,
She don't understand. The
it's
concept.
not.
She's like family first.
It's not.
I don't
It's not a big thing for her. But I think that's where we differ from our mothers. Because I
Yes.
think the older that we get, there's so much of them that we see in us. But then we have changed a lot. Our parents they're baby boomers. Our parents. I know mine are. Are they that?
I don't know the
My-
dates.
I don't know the dates of boomers. I think my parents are like. Right
My parents were born in the late
More-
50s, so I
It's
think.
59.
Oh, my
Yeah.
parents are in the 60s.
I think
My
they're
mom was
boomers.
69, so.
So I think she's
So is
that's
that
X.
X?
That's X. Your
So
mom
my,
is Gen X.
my parents are X.
Okay, so yours are X, mine's a boomer. I think yours probably is too. I think X is the 60s, I think.
Okay.
But either way, they're in a different time frame than we were, and they had the priorities were different for women. The things that
Oh,
they
so
thought about
different.
were different. And you said actually that you were never the person growing up that wanted to think marriage. I had marriages around me, but it wasn't a thing that I pushed for. And it wasn't so much that it was pushed in my life, but it was like I knew that was the path.
Idealistically,
You grow up,
this is what
you
you're supposed to
you go to college, you find a man that you love, or he loves you, and whatever the case, and you guys get married and have some kids, and then you go about and live your life. Like that's what I was trained to think in my life.
Yeah.
But that's not how my life has turned out. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm probably still pushing for some version of that, but it's different. So we're not our mothers. Our journeys are different. What does that look like for us? Like we're evolving womanhood. We're doing things differently, but we're also still keeping the essence of what they gave us somewhat in our lives. What does that look like for us? But first, check this out.
Ooh. Yes.
We had a
another
genie
one.
that dropped off more green tea
Another
shots
one.
for us. Another one.
Another one.
Shout out, DJ Khaled.
Shout out
Clink,
to
clink.
women.
It's so good.
That is
Listen.
very tasty.
Well,
So good.
Shout out to me
not shout out to me.
for the whiskey that I picked up.
Yes, thank you for Clutch.
Thank you,
Clutch
Nikki.
whiskey. Thank you
Because I
so
will
much.
always get that Jameson now.
It's good. It rides
It's
good.
IPA edition.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Fancy.
Well, I'll be quick about my about Mama. I'm not gonna tell y'all who her best friend is. I grew up with my grandmother, so I lived with her most of my life. I kind of went back and forth, but as far as her friendship, she is friends with everybody at the church. She calls them every day.
Wow.
And little side note, when she leaves them voicemails as well as me, she likes to say what time it is. Hey,
good.
Miranda, it's your Grandma Sue. It's Thursday afternoon at 8:59.
I love that.
I was calling to tell you. I love her very, very much. And that, she has a whole circle of friends that love her. We talk at least a few days a week. So, tons of friends, arms wide open.
It's funny that you said your grandma says, this is your grandma. My mom does the same thing. Like, Mom, I know it's you.
Right. I got caller
Yes.
ID. Mama.
That's how my mother answered the phone. She says, this is Beverly, our last name. I'm like, what? You know it's me.
She say her whole name too.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you, Mama? I know.
I know who I called. What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, y'all are funny.
Versus us when we answer the phone. What?
You're right.
What is it? Retta hates it when I do that. What? What's up?
I'm hanging up right now. I'll call me later. Bye. That's literally what I say to her.
That's great.
I'm just in the middle of doing something. What?
Yeah, I think, like you said, how, I mean, the idea of getting a job, school, getting a job, work, all that, I think that's still kind of everybody's idea of how it's going to go. But I think what's different from our generation is that if it doesn't go like that, we're cool with it.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't...
Yeah.
We don't feel like some type of way. Our parents feel some type of way.
We've
that
made
we
it
don't follow.
okay.
Yeah, we've made it okay.
Yeah.
Like, so my mom very much so wants a grandchild. and it's gotten to a point where, like, sometimes I don't want to talk to her because it always comes up. And at one point,
Come on, mama.
we did have a discussion like, okay, we can't, every time I talk to you, it can't be that. She works at the hospital in a nursery, so
She sees babies.
She's seeing babies all the time.
so she doesn't have to ask me about babies because she's seeing babies. But it is what it is. I get it.
Didn't you see 15 babies a day, Mama?
I get it. Like, my cousins, one of my cousins has 3. Another of my cousins had another one. So she's seeing them all the time.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, our generation is okay with how it is. I mean, it's not like I don't want to have kids, but it just hasn't happened. Or
The journey is different.
It's different. But I think with our family, when they don't see that happening, like, well, why isn't this happening?
Well,
Why
is there
aren't you
anything
doing
wrong?
this?
Right.
Like,
Well, what's the saying? God, we plan, God laughs.
Yes.
right? Exactly.
You know, that's true.
So we definitely have changed the narrative. As like, okay, we want this stuff, but if it doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, we're cool with it.
Absolutely.
I think I just got cool with not following the narrative. Being the age that we are, Nikki and I talk all the time about how we were raised very, very similar to think the exact same things. And I thought, okay, like my mom and I are 30 years apart. So she was exactly 30 years old when I was born. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, I'm way behind the line right now. That's how I used to feel. But I'm finally at a point where I'm like, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
It can't be. I can't focus on that. Like, that can't be what drives me, because otherwise I'll lose my shit at any point in time.
Stressful, yeah.
So it's just like, I can't subscribe to that. So I do want those things, I think, in some version of it, but I'm also not pressured by that. And I'm also very blessed that my mother has never pressured me or my sister to, like, do that.
Good.
Like, she grew up, went to college, got married, whatever, but she's always been more concerned that we're okay. That's her biggest concern. I very rarely talk to my mother about relationships. Occasionally she might ask me something about whatever, and I'm like, yeah, sure, that is what it is. Okay, next, move on. Next thing, how's work?
Right.
How are your friends? How's this going? What are you doing? How are you writing any? Like, what are you doing? So it's like she doesn't focus on it. Is that I don't feel the pressure. Like, that was amazing that made me stop feeling the pressure, because she didn't make me feel pressure like other people's parents, like your mom wanting you to do these things. I'm like, my mother would. If I don't know. I think she'd be excited, I guess, but she doesn't seem to care one way or the other if I do or don't.
Yeah.
And I like that. That makes me feel better about it, and I don't feel like compelled to do that.
And that's funny about the pressure, because I spent probably a good majority of my 20s giving myself self-inflicted pressure.
Yes.
Because, I mean...
we do that too much.
Right.
We
like,
do.
my mother
as women.
had me when she was 19, and then they immediately got married, and, like, everything happened all at the same time. Now, granted, their situations were different where they kind of had to do that, but when I was growing up, I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna live the same life as my mother. Like, when I go to college, I'm gonna meet who I want to marry, and then at college, we're gonna get married, and by 25, I'll have, like, 3 babies, and
But we're, like, preached to that.
Right, and I sounded like a psycho. Like, 25, have 3 babies? What is wrong with you?
But talking about that at 19,
it didn't seem
normal.
crazy.
it was normal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just think it's so funny. And yeah, like, now that I have reached this pinnacle of I'm okay with not having these things happen when they're supposed to, I think obviously, like, my anxiety is much better. But also I've now been presented with, like, a wonderful relationship, and to think if I had, like, pushed this narrative of who I would have
would've ended up-
married
Jesus, no.
in college, because y'all know who I dated in college. Absolutely not. And having children with that person.
I mean, I
like,
know who I was dating, and it's not Thank you,
He knows.
Yes,
The
and
Lord
so
knows.
I think that's what makes my parents so unique is that like my mother knows that like my life was not going to be the same exact as hers,
Yes.
and she just wants me to be happy. There you go. And that is in any capacity. So whether it's having a family, she knows eventually I want a family, and she knows it's going to come eventually. Of course, she has the same thing as you, like want a grandbaby. She's like, you're dating a great guy. Yeah, y'all are going to make some great babies. Not tomorrow, Mom.
Right, exactly.
And then in the aspect of just like getting married, but also in like having like the job, because my mother did not. I'm just putting her all business out there, but she's fine because she has a wonderful life. She didn't go to college.
She's real happy.
She
so
didn't
it's
go to
okay.
college, but she was very adamant about me going to college.
Yeah.
And I don't have this perfect job in my aspect of life, and I think that our mothers like pushed us to have a completely different life than them.
Yes.
And I think that's
Yes.
important to know that even though we grew up thinking that we needed to have a life that they lived, like at least in the order of like meeting somebody, family, college, job, whatever that order is. But I also think that it's important to know that they also wanted us to have our own life.
Yeah.
And that's super generational.
I mean, I'll say this just real quick. I know we've been on this for a minute, but before I had Madison, even as a kid, I thought like I would adopt, and that was my idea from point A. I never imagined getting married or having my own kid, and then all of a sudden, bam, boom, here she is. You know, so it's a wild ride.
Things are out of order, quote unquote.
quote unquote right.
And the order doesn't even matter. Like the more I was talking to another friend of mine, like even with all the wonderful marriages or things that I see around me, when it comes to like I look at my parents have been married for coming up on 36 years, and that's wonderful. It's fantastic.
That's
I love it.
beautiful. Yeah.
And my mom, like I said, my mom has a lot of sisters. My dad has sisters. And they've all been married for a long time. All those people, like that's really great. But the older I get and the more I go through life, like I'm wondering, like I kind of just the way I'm set up, I just kind of want somebody that vibes with me and rides with me, and like that's kind of what I want, honestly. And wherever that comes, like that's fine. Marriage, yes, that sounds like a really great idea. Let's have a big party and,
celebrate.
Let's have a big party at the front and then like go through a bunch of shit later. Like that's like sure, I guess, but like I really want someone who's just here for me and I'm here for them.
Yeah.
And whatever that looks like, it's cool with me at this point. Like that, the construct of marriage itself, I get it because of how I was raised, but I'm not so sold that has to be the end goal.
Yeah.
I feel like back in the day, they were like super concerned about the party, and then once you went home, it was like,
Oh shit, we had a
Oh,
party. Now we got to
shit.
clean up.
Yeah.
and now he's beating you, or y'all actually don't even like each other, but
Right.
y'all look good to your friends and family.
It's the boxes that you're checking
You're
off.
checking a box, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and back in the day, they were definitely more conservative as far as being married and then having the kids because they cared what other people thought.
Yes.
And women were judged, like in your
Judged
family, like your auntie is
crazy.
looking at you crazy,
Yeah.
like you are 29
Right.
and you have no
Right.
children right now. What is it? You know, like
But now it's just like,
Yeah.
all right, okay, what's next?
It's like, what you been up to?
Right.
right.
You got a
Right.
baby? Okay.
Oh, you're actually an individual. Who would have thought? Oh
Right.
my gosh.
Exactly. No, we don't have those worries, and I love that.
Yes. Praise
like
God.
there's
Thank
the
you for all the women behind us.
and they stick around in weird ways. I think there's an episode long way back where Esquire and I argued about having a child together, like co-parenting, and we argued about whose last name the baby would have. And I want the baby to have my last name but that was also me thinking of my mother. That's the excuse that I used in real time. I was like, my mother will have a fit if I one, have a baby out of wedlock, two,
Right.
give it the last name of the man I had
I
the
at
baby
least have to
with.
give it my last name.
Right.
You hear me?
This wedlock, you forfeit your last name.
My mother would have a fit, but then when I got to, as we always laugh about that, but the more I think about it, I'm like, I actually don't care. But that was me in my head with how I was raised, thinking I have to give this child my name. I don't care one way or the other, to be honest, but I was fighting because it was ingrained in me to think a certain way. But I don't know how important that actually is. I don't know.
So I experienced the opposite when I had my child. I felt the peer pressure to give her father's last name, even though we weren't. I actually broke up with him when I was like having the baby. I was like, "Thank you, but no, thank you." Okay,
You can leave now.
Like, thank you.
that
Goodbye.
switch was real, y'all.
Thanks for your contribution. We're done. Goodbye.
Yes, thank you so much. Goodbye. But I still felt the pressure to do that now, 11 years, almost 12 in the future, I would have done things differently. But now she's claimed that name, so here we are.
Loves it. She's not letting it go.
She's not gonna
You're
let
not
it
gonna
go.
take that from her.
She's not. She's not gonna. I'm gonna let her have it. You know. I'm gonna let her have it.
But as we grow and we look at our moms, or we look at stuff like that, one of the things we see our moms do, I think all of our mothers worked. I have friends whose moms didn't work when I was growing up, and I was like, that's cool. I guess they were always like hanging out at school.
That's my dream job. I want everybody to know I have been working since I was 14.
I don't want to work.
And now
wouldn't
I've had a
mind
child since I was in my teenage years. I don't want to work. I want to be at home with my baby all day.
Stay-at-home mom. Yes.
I'm gonna clean the house. I want my husband to come home.
Right.
Hey, honey, you got the house real clean for you, baby. Come on in.
Real complete.
I don't have
Where
to
that
work.
check at, baby? Did you deposit it?
This quarantine has definitely let me know I will be okay with working.
Oh yeah.
You just want me to stay home?
Job who?
That's fine. I'm cool with it. I'll quit tomorrow.
I'll do it.
That's what you want to do.
who?
I think it's interesting how work has evolved. My mom has always worked, and so that came from I've seen her always have a job and going to school, working. I've had a job since I was 14, like you, and it's always been important to me. Like I want to buy the things I want, so that's why I have a job. And I think that what's interesting about our generation of people is that work is this weird enigma for us. It's like a means to an end. Like we have a job because we have to, for the most
Yes.
part. And we're talented. We all went to, for most of us, went to college or were told to go. And even if we didn't, we've worked a crazy array of jobs, and we can do a lot of different things. And we're not sold on any one thing. Like my parents worked for, my father's a preacher, so he doesn't count. My mother worked for a very, very long time for one person and then moved on to something else, and she's doing whatever. Like that was a thing. But now that's not really a thing. Like I got a job 2 years ago that I was so hype about. I talked about it on an episode. But now I'm like, you know what? I'll leave this company in a fucking minute. They don't stop acting up. So it's just like,
Side note, who hiring?
Right.
Slide my DMs,
my
okay?
LinkedIn is
Open to network.
right.
Email me at.
So it's just like we don't have the same ideas about it anymore. Like we'll
Yeah.
move around and do what works for us. So professional stuff, like what's good? Like are we where we want to be? Like what's on the horizon? Is there something new we want to try? What are we doing?
I'm gonna kick us off.
Yes.
I'm in sales. I hate it. I won't get too specific, but I'm in business sales, and it's like mid company sizes, and they're as everybody knows, it's COVID. A lot of places are shutting down, so like that sucks. It's not what I want to continue to do, but I do it because like you got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So that's where
When
I'm
you've done
at.
it in that you've been there for like it's comfort.
It is comfort. It is comfort. I've done, and Bev knows my little side hustles that I pick up. I try to do whatever I can to make another dollar somewhere. And I'm real stingy about how I spend money. I'm here. I try to clock in virtually. I don't really clock in, but I make sure my VPN is connected at least by 9:30.
If anyone ever came and looked,
Right.
you worked
I'm
clocked
here.
in.
Her
You were
computer
clocked
say
in.
it's on.
She was there.
That's what
Yes.
her computer says.
Peter says,
That's where I'm at.
We're here. You bought a house. You good?
I'm
That
saying,
job got you a house.
because a lot of us are not at that stage.
First of all, everybody keeps saying that. The loan officer, the real estate agent,
It's a
Baby.
big deal.
my family. But like, it's a big
It
ass-
gives me
Fir-
hives, the thought of purchasing a house.
I have high. I just signed up for like a 30-year mortgage, and like a lot of people, nobody knows me on this podcast.
That's your
I am,
long term right
I
there.
am debt free, so I have worked very hard to like
Yes.
pay off all my debt. So like taking on
on
this
a new debt.
That's
on
hard.
this 30-year commitment is, especially when I don't even like relationships apparently.
Listen, but that one's never gonna
That's a
leave
good
you.
relationship.
I'm just hoping like
Right,
this one
you can leave that
appreciates.
one.
So
Yes.
that,
On your own
that's
terms.
the goal.
That job helped you do that. Having
That
that-
job, yeah, and I feel like I've been with them for a long time, so hopefully they don't get rid of me. As COVID continues, that's all I'm praying for. That tenure counts for something.
yeah.
For me, I've I like to call myself a Jill of all trades. I mean, Jack of all trades is the standard, but of course we're
Jill of all
women.
trades
Jill
is
of all
the standard.
Hell yeah,
Because-
Jill
Women
like our first lady.
Yes,
Doctor.
exactly.
Yeah.
Dr. Jill.
Yes.
But like I've lived my life always having a plan, and as of like college, it has just not been going.
Miss Nikki Caribbean as fuck. She's
Exactly. That was my next
three
phrase.
jobs.
At one point, I had 3 different jobs. Like, I just work because I know I have to.
Yeah.
But there's so many interests and things that I have. Like, I changed my major like 3-4 times in college. And somehow I ended up with communications. But I ain't even doing communications. I'm a teacher. Like, I went back to school to do that. Like, I am millennial as fuck when it comes to jobs. And so, like, professional life stresses me out. I would love to be a stay-at-home mom. So I don't have to think about, like, what my next career move
That is my dream job.
Because,
if anybody ever asks me,
like,
that's
even
what I
as
want
a
to do.
teacher right now, like, I've been doing it for a while and I'm almost over it. Like, I kind of want to move on to something else. I cannot figure out what to do. But I also have this, like, creative brain. And so, like, what I want to do, a lot of the times, the things that I want to do don't make no money.
Yes.
And
Everything
so-
I want to do makes
And
no
apparently,
money.
Yes.
apparently, you need money to do things.
You need money to
Our
live.
mothers did not like. I will say that about our generation. Our parents did not prepare us properly
No.
for the life that we're currently living.
No.
Tell us to
My
get
family
whatever
didn't tell
job
me
we
nothing
wanted.
about no
Like
money.
we are
They said
cultured
when
as
you go
fuck.
to
We
college,
know a lot of
you're gonna
things.
get the job you want. And then
We
you
out
make
here
all the
like,
money.
what?
No.
Rent due again. Every month you
That
say.
don't stop.
Which I don't understand that. Let's, real quick, after a year or however long your first lease is, you want to increase the rent. After I paid you on time.
You didn't tell me that.
I paid you on time. Why is it going
Don't
up?
give me that market value stuff. That
Exactly.
don't mean nothing to me.
I've been here.
That means nothing.
I've been here.
I'm loyal.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'm not going anywhere. I don't cause no problems.
I can see if I've been late.
Right.
They didn't tell it. They didn't prepare us for that.
No, and that is the
prepared.
reason why
Can't
all
stand
of us are
You know why
so
they didn't prepare
much.
us? Because they had those cheap ass mortgages.
Right. How much your mortgage? $399.
Right.
The whole house costs $50,000.
Right.
So I'm over here. That is literally
Yes.
why, like, buying a house would be the last actual thing that I do, because I am just all over the place. I can't. I need to
Yes.
be financially sound to be able to do that.
Yes.
So I applaud you for
That's
that.
fair.
But like, as far as me, I know a new career is coming soon.
Yes.
Speak it into existence.
And,
Yes.
But like, I try not to focus on it too much because again, I have so many interests that like
Yeah.
after a couple of years, I just get bored with something. And is it gonna hurt what comes after? Like, for example, eventually I do want to start a family. I can't just be job hopping all over the place.
Yes.
So I'm trying to be as consistent as possible, but I think it's just like embedded in me that I need to work to survive, but I also want to enjoy what I do.
Yes.
So I have
Yes.
no problem quitting a job if it does not bring me joy, because that's what happened my first job. Like my first real job, I had a desk, I had an office and everything.
I remember that.
hated that
Yes.
job. So I worked it only 2 years until I couldn't stomach it anymore, and I was like, deuces. And I refused to do that. So I feel that tingling in my teacher bones. So it's almost time to just
Spidey senses.
moonwalk out of there and
But
find
what
a
a
new...
crazy year you've had.
Right, and that's what also solidified it.
Yes.
So that added to the sandwich.
Shout out to our teachers.
Yeah. Shout out to the
Shout
teachers.
out.
So if there's a time to get out, this is the time.
This is the time.
I didn't know she was listening, or she wasn't listening. I'm so sorry. I should have believed
Tip,
you.
what you say?
Am I where I want to be? No. Like you said, in college, you have these dreams of what you want to do. I know coming out, I wanted to be in community relations. I wanted to change the world in my community.
Yes.
Want to help everybody.
That don't pay nothing.
It
Right.
don't.
Right.
And
That's volunteer work, they
these
say.
nonprofits, they don't hire a lot of people.
At all.
When my current job hit me up, I was like, I'm about to get kicked off this health insurance. So, yes, I want to
26
take
is a
this
rough
job.
year.
So I think right now, like I've been in this industry since I got out of school. So it's more so it's become comfortable. I know what I'm getting from it. I've been able to move up. I've been able to. I did settle, but I'm okay with what the career is. Like it's a good career. I've learned a lot. I didn't even know this exists. So basically, I work in like with U.S. Customs, like importing and exporting stuff into the U.S. So I mean, it's definitely something that's needed, and it will always be around. And it's definitely a job that won't ever go away.
Security is good.
Yes.
Security.
So I think
Yes.
that's my
Very good.
biggest thing as far as like switching. But within the last year or two, I had definitely been trying to do something in community relations or outreach. And I mean, it's just hard, especially when you're trying to move from a career that I'm in now into outreach.
I
You're
hate
like,
that. Yes.
well, how does that transition to what we do? So, so now, I mean, I've always volunteered. I've always been in outreach. So that's what I try to kind of bank on as far as, okay, I don't have professional experience in this, but I do have outside experience in this where I have done this. I have worked with organizations where I could do this, but they don't want to see that. They want to see that person who's had like that whole tenure of doing that. So, I mean, I'm still moving forward. Like, I've had interviews for them, but like I said, they don't pay
Soon
a lot.
come.
Moving
but,
and grinding,
You know,
though.
I'm not. I think the Lord will bless me when it's my time.
There you go.
To move on.
Amen.
There you go.
We also are not a group of people that we're just going to quit jobs
No.
and not make no money.
No, I gotta
and then
make
just
this
hope
check.
for a
We're
not
new
those
job to
people.
pop
We're
up.
not those
We're
people.
not
Keep
quitting
coming.
the first job until the second job is
Right.
secured.
We're
That's not
we're
my
not those
story.
people. Yes.
The final interview
I
has to
can't
be
do
secured.
it. Right.
Yes.
No, I need to have signed some paperwork and a
Yes.
W-2 is on its way.
Absolutely.
Yes. No, I made sure my shit overlapped when I finally
Yes.
when I up and left my job 2 years ago. I was like, how can I finagle this to make sure I don't miss no check?
The
Got
generation
it.
now, they're just like, I don't want to do this, quit.
Yes.
Right.
You know,
That
I
would
can't.
stress
I'll figure it
me
out.
I think anyone who knows me knows my professional journey has been like a wild, crazy thing. Like, I was with the same company for almost 10 years, hated every step of the way, thought I had a plan at some point to do what I wanted. Like, I figured out what I wanted. Didn't really work out, but then I finally had an opportunity. That's where I am now. Like, I'm at a place where I'm doing something that is adjacent to what I would like to do, but finally being able to work in an area, an environment that stirred up the stuff in me that I know that I'm good at, the stuff that I know I can do well. All it's done is helped me see, okay, I don't want to do what I'm currently doing. It's fine, I'll do it. It pays the bills. I don't have a problem with it. But I've also learned what I'm actually capable of, and that's what's been really cool for me. So I am prepared to jump ship at the very next opportunity I get. And it's not a bad thing. It's just I know
you
now
know
what I'm capable of and what I'm able to do, and I need to go to where I can do that. And I'm happy to do it. Like, I will go exactly where whoever will let me do what I know I can do. That's where I want to be. And I don't have any problems up and leaving as long as it's secure and stable. The money thing is real when you get spoiled.
Yes.
I worked for a Fortune 100 company, so I was making really good money. So moving to something that I'd never heard of was weird for me. I'm a little hesitant to do it again, but they didn't disappoint me fully. So I've made a jump that was kind of scary, and it wasn't the worst thing ever. So I could do it again. I'm cool with it now. I'm like, oh yeah, I can move as long as and the money is a thing. If the money's right, I'll move. I can't, like, the money's got to be right, but I'll do it. I'm not as scared to do it as I was decided 2 years ago. So
It's always interesting to me when people say, it don't pay a lot, but I still love it. I want to be in that place where it doesn't
Pay a lot, and I need to love it.
but I
I
still
want that
love it.
piece.
Do you think
Both of
that
them.
women do that a lot more? Do you
Absolutely.
think that we are always like, you know
Absolutely.
what? It still makes money. I don't hate it, and I'm just gonna like suck it up and do it.
I talked to
Or
one of
do you
my
think men do
one of
that?
my guy friends from high school, and one of his takes on he was getting laid off, and his very first statement to me was, "I got some job offers, but it's not what I wanted to make, so I'm not accepting it." And I'm like,
It's foreign to me.
"Sir,
This is money more than I'm making
you
right
need
now.
an
Yes,
income.
I will take
Is
it.
Walmart hiring?" Sorry, shout out to Walmart. Like, not if you work there, it's okay. I'm just saying. You know, he was doing something different than that. So, sorry, just say what you were just saying. Like, definitely men.
they don't think about it
They
like
don't.
that.
They don't. No.
They are more prone to exercise and know their worth because they
Yes.
we were I don't think we were taught the same thing. We do it now. We say know your worth, girls, like whatever we say it now.
Sure.
But even still, we're like
We still don't get the pay. We still don't get paid.
we
the
don't
same.
when we don't anyway. So there's
No.
that.
Already.
They're already not going to give it to us. And then two, we don't think to even ask. There was an episode we did last season, and I made a statement, and Esquire and Najee both were like, "Well, no, I just asked," and I was like, and in that moment, these are my two really good friends who I love, and they know me, and I was immediately like, I didn't feel like I could ask.
Yeah.
I didn't think I could. And he was like, "No, you should have just asked." Like, I asked her, and she was like, "They asked me, they gave me what I wanted." I was like,
Wow.
"Okay." I didn't, and it was really foreign to me in my head because I didn't think that I had the ability to ask for something that I wanted or to pass up on something and say no if it wasn't what I wanted. But I think we have to do better about that because we do have that ability. When you work a long time, like you've been working for the same place for a long time. So if you decided you want
Over 10
something,
years.
I think you've got plenty of leverage to ask for something that you want.
Just to shout that out, because if nobody knows, there is a real thing called, now I can't think of the name of it, but it's basically ensuring that your salary is the same as your peers. So
Yes.
you can request with your manager or HR and say, hey, I want to make sure that, my salary is in line with everybody else's. Can you ensure that? And I did that a couple of years ago. It actually got me a small bump because it wasn't.
Oh,
Nice.
I moved to a new team and they had been doing whatever. Anyways, so that is a real thing. And now every year I ask. So
yeah, now you're like, I know what happened.
It's me again.
So at about 6 months after they do like the raise every year in March, I'd be like, it's June. Hey, Sean, you remember me? That's my boss. I am once again asking for, is my pay where it's supposed to be? You know everything I do.
Like at this point, I'm gonna come in here.
Right.
Just
Like,
keep me
just-
up where I'm
yes.
supposed to be.
Yeah,
I'm
so
gonna
I
cross all my T's, dot all my I's, get all my training done.
like that.
You ain't gonna be on no list, okay?
Right. Just give it to me.
Right.
No, it's we women. The older that we get, the more that we go through doing things. I think it's interesting how we operate in the workplace and the things that we have to do, the things we have to consider. We always consider all these other things other than ourselves, and it's weird to consider yourself for whatever reason. For women, I don't know how we were. Dare I say, blessed with that to care for others before we think what other people think, what other people want. So we will literally sit and do something that's not comfortable if it means that everything else is fine. And I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't think I can do that anymore. Professionally, personally, whatever, but we're talking about professional, like I can't do that anymore. If I'm going to be in my house working, I'm going to be in my house working on something that I give a damn about. That's where I'm at now. And I'm super blessed, very happy to do what I'm doing, but I'm, like I said, let that ship come by for the next good thing. I'm jumping over. And I can swim if I have to swim. If I have to swim a little bit, I'll do that.
I'm good.
Let
coming,
me get in
though.
there. Yes.
I will put an asterisk on education, though. Because unfortunately,
Yes.
it is a woman-dominated
Yes.
occupation, but it's also, I guess, more of like a servant job, a public servant. So
It
we
most definitely
don't
is.
really get to ask for a lot of stuff. We kind of have to deal with things as they come,
Which is crazy.
and it's
So crazy.
society funded, government funded, and that's what we get. Or like what I used to say when I was younger: get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. That's pretty much how it is. So I just love hearing you guys being able to like.
I tell Madison, I sing every time she hates something, I'll be like, love sucks. Every time she gets something she don't
Ain't
want.
it fun? Ain't it fun?
Yeah.
You're just kind of dealing, and
Yes.
so like I think it's interesting because
Right.
it's a good song.
That's a great song.
Women are always having to deal with that, and I think that's interesting because it bleeds into the rest of our lives.
Yes.
We're already having to
Yes.
deal with it in the workplace, and then we also have to deal with it outside
Yes.
and dealing with men, and so that is why I wanted to transition.
We be in sync. I was about to do that. Look
Yes.
at this.
Yeah,
Right there.
right here.
Right here. No, yes. Women and our sexuality. Like, number one, I said it 2 weeks ago. If y'all follow the podcast, stay out of my vagina.
Yes.
It is mine. I was born with it. I'm going to die with it.
Unless you
Stay.
ask.
Right.
Just
respectfully.
not twice.
You ask respectfully, talk to me nice.
Talk to me nice.
Talk to me nice. You can most likely come in.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm about to put in my profile, like, you can probably get in. Just talk to me nice. What is wrong with
That's
you?
it.
No, women in our sexuality, like, it has been, I think probably the last 10 years of our life, women's sexuality has been so, like, we have these crazy, hyper crazy moments.
180.
And it's just like,
Why
why
you
is this
so
a
obsessed
thing?
with me?
Like, this is mine. It's been mine. It's going to always be mine. Why do men feel like they have the opportunity or the ability or the authority or the right to say anything about what we're doing? Summer 2020, we had WAP come out. We had, like, the things that men said regarding WAP blew my mind.
They hated it.
They hated it. But meanwhile, it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none. It's some hoes in this house. That was a male song.
Yes.
A song a man wrote about women in the house being
On top of
hoes.
the million other songs.
Like-
And
that
she
did-
took
What
it,
are you
flipped
talking
it, and
about?
reversed it, and now y'all mad.
Right.
I just, oh gosh. Let's,
Like, it's mine to begin with.
the gun is cocked. Here we go. Go, ladies.
Double standard.
Here we go.
We live in it.
I will never understand why men feel like they can comment on a woman, especially if it's not your woman. Like if it's me and I'm out here singing WAP on my music video, yes, Lex can say something. But you guy over there, you can't say nothing. I don't know you. This ain't got nothing to do with you over here.
Right.
It has nothing to do
right.
with you. I remember one time I changed my hair. I change my hair a lot. But one time I remember changing my hair, and one of the guys was at work was like, "Yeah, I don't like that on you." I'm like, good for you.
I didn't ask you.
Oh my
This
gosh.
ain't got nothing to do with you over here.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
It's not. I just don't understand the boldness
Yes.
and the audacity for you to come and say that to me.
The audacity.
Like, why? This has nothing to do with you. These women have nothing to do with you. Like, leave them alone.
Side note, just to speak on that, I recently learned that a husband had to be on a wife's passport. So he had to either like A, sign off on it, or B, she had to be on his with a passport. Not currently. No.
I was like, wait, what?
I'm sorry. Back in the day, I actually don't know what year, but I came across
No, that
something. I
makes
was like,
sense,
that is
So if
super.
you didn't
Like in
want
the
her to
U.S.,
travel,
not like in a third world country.
So if he didn't
She
want her to
probably
travel,
She
still
can't
doing
leave
that.
here unless I say she can leave here.
Right.
Which, speaking of third world country, they actually still do that. So.
I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the U.S., so I was just like, damn, that's
Yeah.
we've came such a long way. Like, it's crazy. Sorry, just when you said that, I didn't think about it.
It's just a huge double standard. I just don't I will never understand why they have that feeling that they can say things.
Men are so like, for them to what appears to be hate us so much, but they love what we can give them.
Oh, yeah.
But then at the minute we want to love what we give them, it's a problem. Back when when the Silhouette Challenge was a thing, top of the year, everyone was doing that.
all those challenges are great.
People,
They're so great.
men
My favorite
again
one.
had
Do it.
a lot to say about certain things. One of the things I wanted to point out, it was our fan favorite reality TV Safari. He says, "New millennium is crazy now. Back in the day, you had to close your eyes and imagine what a girl you liked looked like naked. Now, almost every girl is naked just 'cause. I gotta make sure my daughter is different. She needs me." Now, this is coming from Safari, who, number one, linked his penis for the entire world to see.
He actually has a sex toy.
Right. And if he
Like,
had
that
not
is
been
molded
married
from his-
to Erica Mena, he'd have been doing the Silhouette Challenge.
All of it.
So it's like, not that we take his word as gold, but like he is another man who feels I can say what I want to say because I'm changed now, because I got married and I had a little girl. Oh, I'm different now.
Right.
And that's not to say that men don't change. If you guys know men who have daughters, they do change. They are different. But you'd also see them running around acting crazy the way these celebrity men that we see being so like emboldened with like audacity to say things like, bro, chill out, because you were the main one forcing and pushing women to be extra sultry, sexy, whatever, and doing that. And now you're mad about it when we want to do it on our own and you're not the one directing it. I don't deal with that. And yes, you have a daughter. Yes, please tell your daughter to protect herself and own herself. But don't say it like what we're doing is bad. Because this out of 2 years ago, that's how you got Erica Mena. Like, don't act like that.
Right. I think overall that is the biggest issue, is because we live in a patriarchal society. We know this. This is the resident feminist speaking. Yes. We know that this is how it is. So when we talk about feminism, we want to be equal. So if you get to talk all this junk about my body parts, what I do with them, what I do with you,
Wear gray sweatpants.
I need to be able to do the same thing. So why
Because
y'all
gray
mad?
sweatpants,
Because I
though.
want to see it. That's a perfect example. All y'all upset because now we want to see it in gray sweatpants.
Right.
Side
But
note,
you
we
want to see
still
what
wanna
we're
see
working
it.
with. So again, it's all about equality. So what is the problem? Is equality. Like, you really don't want us to be equal.
Right.
Yes.
Just, if that's the case, just say that.
Say that. If you
Just
don't
say
think we're
that.
the same, if you don't think we
Right.
deserve it, say that.
I just want men to realize that I'm religious. So God created Adam and Eve, right? He did create Adam first, yes. But he said Adam needed a helper.
Yes.
Guess what? Adam couldn't do it by himself.
Can't do it by
And
yourself.
He needed me. Okay. He needed us. That's all I'm saying.
yes.
For sure.
Yes, and for you to, like, at every turn that you can get, decide that you are the one who gets to say what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Drives me up a wall. It's was it Snoop was he got into trouble back at the end of the year. He said something about WAP and Megan and Cardi, and he did come back and say, he said, hey, I know Megan, I know Cardi, I talk to them, I love them, I'm glad that they are successful, they're talented. He's just saying, I'm talking about my daughters and them growing up, like they listen to them, and I'm like, okay, Snoop, when you were young, you were listening to, Ice Cube and NWA, who, whatever. Like, your daughter is no different.
They're always worried about their daughters.
It's but you were the same person 20, 30 years ago who was run up in somebody's daughter. So I get the concern.
And making the same songs.
Yes.
I mean, basically.
But what you're not going to do is say that you're not going to act like you're so far removed from it or like it's so weird.
Right.
Yeah.
Your daughter likes the songs
Like,
that
how
20
dare
years
you.
ago you wrote.
Right.
Like, it's no different. You don't get to say that out loud and make it seem like we're doing something wrong by making this song or presenting
Now we
ourselves
want
in
to
this
talk about
manner.
it, and now you got a problem with it because
Yes.
only you wanted to talk about
Yes.
it.
But, big but, as a person with a daughter,
That's fair. You can speak on it because I can't. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't. So for those that have met my daughter,
If you run up in the house when you leave here and you walk in there, you hear it from the top, make it drop. That's some wet ass pussy. And you, what you gonna do?
I'm breaking everything in my motherfucking house. You hear me? I'm throwing away whatever device was playing it.
Everything.
Everything is thrown the hell out.
Out of here.
No, so I have a innocent baby. My baby decided recently, like a month ago, that she didn't want to play with her baby dolls. Okay, she's about
That's not
12 years
coming
old.
told
from
you
a
it was
place
coming.
where
I
women
told you
can't
it was coming.
express themselves.
Stop it.
That's not
Yeah.
coming from a place where you're trying to censor women. It's coming from a place of you.
She's innocent.
She's too young
She
to be
is
listening
innocent.
to that.
Right.
And that's
She don't
fair.
know. She don't need to
Right.
know these things that don't.
They're
Yes.
not making the music
Right.
for 12-year-olds. They're making
Exactly.
the music for
Yes.
adult women. Adult
Yes.
women.
So
And
that's
women.
fair.
Yes.
Yes.
But
So
they're
I-
trying to tell us not to make it at all. Like,
Yes.
why are you talking about your own vagina?
Right.
That's our job. What are you talking about?
Right.
That's what
We
Boosie,
talk about your
That's
vagina.
what Boosie said about.
How dare
Boosie
you.
said that about Lori Harvey. He was like, if that's what y'all want to say is goals, you want to tell your daughter. It's like, I'm not telling my daughter anything about
telling
Lori
my
Harvey.
homegirl.
Opinion.
Yes,
not
me,
my
yes, me and my
kid.
homegirls
Sorry.
are talking about Lori. Like,
Yeah.
Lori, look at Lori over here dating like Michael B.
here.
Jordan. Yes, like
Out here.
And she better. First of all,
Right, she
side
better.
note, why is everybody upset about this? She is fine. Everybody else she is
I'm
dating
upset
is
because
fine.
It is my.
that right. I said that. Yeah.
I literally want to do the same. I'm so single. I want to do the same.
I'm upset at the situation, not
Yes.
her.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to see Michael B. Jordan super happy all up on her.
Yes.
I get it. I'm not mad at her.
Why is he
I'm
so
mad
happy?
at- I don't want to see that.
She's so great. She's so funny. Right?
She's so funny. Okay.
I mean, he had girls before, I'm sure, but now you want to throw her all up in our face?
She on your
Dang.
Instagram. Okay.
Right.
That's the one.
That's
with rose petals on the yacht.
Really?
On the yacht. Got it.
Y'all skiing in Aspen.
okay. But I'm just, as parents, if they're going to throw that whole, I don't want my daughters, as a parent,
It's not
it is
for your
your
daughters.
goal.
Yeah.
It is your
Yes.
It's your responsibility to teach. Hey, this is what you should do. This is how you should act. Quotation
Sure.
marks.
Everybody
But
got
it's
their
not.
own thing. Yeah.
It's not for others to teach your kids. You teach your kids what they're supposed to do. So you can't put it on other people. Just like how Cardi said, she don't let her daughter listen to
She
none of
does
that
it.
stuff.
She doesn't
Right.
even let her
Yes.
own daughter listen to her own music.
Don't let
Fair.
your daughter listen to it if you
Yes.
don't
If you
want
so
it.
upset.
If that's what you're so concerned about.
Yes.
Oh, my kids. Don't let them listen to it.
Exactly.
Boom. Just like that.
If I
It
want
is-
to talk about my vagina popping, I can.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me.
Yes.
be
It is
out
that
here.
simple. It is that simple. And you should have nothing to say. Like, you came from what?
came
This vagina that you hate to be talked about so much is how you got here. Like, chill out, bro. Dudes kill me with that. I
For
don't
so
get
long, they controlled it though. Like
This
it
is true.
wasn't
That's what
just
it
for
is.
so long ago that we
can't
decided we had a
lose
voice, we can get a
control.
job, we can
Yes.
do the same thing men
They
can
don't
do. And
want the equality. It's a big issue.
yeah, quote
It's just like
better
anything.
than them,
We
to be
are
honest.
not the faces that are like Planned Parenthood. We're not in charge of those spaces. They are. So when we try to claim it back, it's a problem. And I get that on a fundamental thing, and that's why we fight. That's why we have people who are out here in the world fighting, trying to change things, and that's what's up. Support those people, and because otherwise everything else crumbles. Because we
Thank you to all the women behind us that
Yes.
broke those glasses.
because y'all not gonna keep doing it. Because like I had a wonderful time. I've had a wonderful time in my life, and I won't take it back. I would never let anyone tell me anything different. I did what I did. I stand by it. I own it, and I don't have any problems with what I was doing this side of 10 years ago. It is what it is, and I wish somebody would tell me that I was doing it incorrectly or that I'm to label me a certain way. No, bro, you were right there with me. Like we weren't dating. Were you and I dating when we had sex?
Right.
No. Oh, so you a hoe too? Got it. Cool.
Right.
Like we're not. It's not that serious. Like don't even do that. And like Nikki was saying, like that you go from sex, you go from all the 70 roles right into even more like heavy shit that affects us crazy, like race, political shit. Like it's like a snowball. It's like an angry snowball. Angry snowball that never ends. It's like wound up with all the stuff from like time, from the beginning of time. Things have never been super easy for us as women. I think we discussed this, you and I, right before everybody got here. We were like,
yes,
like
women, the hierarchy.
Women were already lower on it, then the three of us as black women were even lower. But just women in general, you being a mom, being a single mom, like you already, like it knocks you down.
Married.
Yes, like man, oh my gosh,
And
you know,
single
like
mom,
the nerve of
yes.
you to like to do this like this. So it like these little things about us that we can't change knock us further down on the hierarchy. So when it comes to race, when it comes to political stuff, we have a lot of, sometimes it's overt issues, sometimes it's low key, you don't always notice it, but they affect us in really, really strange ways. I think that, I'll just jump in here as we get started. Growing up, I grew up like, I'm one of those people. I speak well, I'm articulate.
Oh yes, you speak so well.
You know, I'm educated, I'm cultured. Like so my parents made sure that I was raised a certain way, saw certain things, and there's a life that I was given. Super blessed, very thankful. But it also has bit me in my ass in different scenarios. It's like, oh, she's this or she's that. I'm like, not really. Like, yep, you knew me like I'm goofy as hell. Like, it's really not, like, you know, can I? Yes. Can I put a whole thing together and like, wow, you sure? But like, doesn't mean that I'm talking white or that I'm doing something like this or whatever. But I've lived with that my entire life. And it's like, how can you really label me like that? Like, just because I'm a black woman doesn't mean I can't be articulate. I can't be educated. And I've always faced that. And the older that I get, it becomes more apparent to me. But also, the older I get, I put myself in spaces, like even professionally, I'm surrounded by really, really cool women. My boss is a black woman who has had a really, really great career doing things and trailblazing. And I really, really like that. I love that about her. And I'm so glad that I have her ahead of me to show me things. And I can ask her questions. She can give me some really honest opinions about like what I can do next because she is black and she has seen it. And it doesn't make it so weird and crazy. Whereas in the past, where I was working, I didn't have that person very close to me. I had either a man ahead of me that would like answer questions, but it wouldn't really be that serious, or another woman that didn't really get it or was playing by the game that they play. And I'm like, no, I need to know what I can do to make it. So it's a weird place I've always felt being in. But the older I get, I don't know. I'm super comfy in my black womanness, and I love it. And sometimes I get real hype, you know. Being out here, being black, being a woman, like I'm owning it in a way I didn't always own it when I was younger. Yeah. I love it.
For sure. Yeah, I got the same thing. Oh, you talk about it. I'm like, because I paid attention in school.
Right.
I'm not really sure what you mean about that.
Yes.
By that, but I mean, as far as like professional life, I'd love to see now how women of all races are becoming more bold, more confident in who they are, and they're able to kick down those doors, moving up the hierarchy in positions. So, like the last company I was at, before I left, one of the people were like, well, they don't have any black people, or they don't have any women in manager positions. But that wasn't true. There was a couple of women in manager positions.
So they just didn't know?
They just didn't know. Wow. So I'm just like, you can't let what other people... That's what I learned. You can't let what other people say until you actually experience it for yourself. Because when I got there, I was like, oh, wait.
You are here.
You are here. You are here. So I love that. I love seeing that. And it's crazy. I guess just the mindset of people, like women can't do certain things, but give us that opportunity, give us that chance to show you like, hey, we can do this. Show us what needs to be done. If you have a way that you prefer to get done, okay, we'll try that too, but we have...
Chances are a woman did it better.
Basically.
Or thought of it first.
Yes.
Basically, we can make it, probably make it better in less steps. You're thinking too much.
Yes.
So,
Right. We have a better way to do it.
Right. So, I mean... Just, I love the way, not all of it, I can only speak from my experiences and where I've been, just being able to see women, black women just move up and not afraid to take those chances. Because I think a lot of times some women are afraid that, like you said, they're just going with the flow, like just trying to stay in a position. So
That's a real thought as far as some women are very complacent and are just like, I just kind of want to just make it. I'm not really trying to stir the pot,
Right.
make any waves,
Right.
ruffle any feathers and things like that. But I do appreciate now, and even though a lot of people are getting pushback when it comes to where women are in the world, they are trying to be everywhere as they should be.
Yeah.
Because again, we have lived in a society where it's not normal for women to take up certain spaces.
Right.
And when it comes to women being CEOs or women having certain jobs that men normally would only have, I think it's important for us to just even celebrate that. But I think it's really sad that we're sitting here in a position where we're still having firsts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as excited as we want to be, and of course as excited as we're going to be,
Yes.
it's still disheartening to know that like we're still dealing with first things. So like political wise, 2 years ago or almost 3 years ago, when we had like 150 something women make it into
Yes, into the
government,
House, yeah.
like into the House, why are we celebrating that? We're celebrating it because we're excited, but it shouldn't have taken that long for that to happen. It's because we have all of these people who are just very set in their ways and just don't think that women are going to do a good enough job. And I, being the person that I am, it still bothers me when people are like, oh, y'all still want a woman as president? What happens if she's on her period? She's going to start nuking different countries because she's all emotional. And like, that stuff might get you
because we didn't
like
spend
that.
4 years thinking that man was going to nuke the fucking country.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So, like, when I think about women, how we move and shake throughout the world,
Yes.
it really bothers me that everything is always emotion based.
Right.
And then when you cut it down even more, then it's race based. And black women don't necessarily fulfill these requirements for whatever reason. And so, like, I'm very much an advocate for thinking as a woman as a whole, and then going from there, like what are the real issues that we're dealing with. So for me, dealing with race issues, of course I'm a black woman first, and I'm going to always do that. But as a whole, women, we still are having to break through so many glass ceilings, as they say, to make our stamp in the
Steel
world.
doors, whatever.
Right. We wish they were glass because that's easy to
Right.
break through.
Right.
They're definitely still doors. But our opportunities, I think, as a whole, women are creating the opportunities for other women because
Yeah.
men are not going to create them for them.
That's true.
I'm going to get off my soapbox now.
No, that's good.
very true.
Something me and Nicole were talking about yesterday, like, for instance, like in my job, a lot of the people I work with, my boss is a man, a white man. A lot of my peers are white men. I work with, I think I have a team of like 12. I actually haven't seen them ever in life because of COVID. But the majority of them are white men. And I am lucky that my boss does like me, and I feel like I am included. But I have like in my previous role, I felt like I wasn't. So I always felt like I was on like the outside looking in, like, can I come in? Can I talk to you guys? What are you guys doing in here?
Hey guys. Hey buddy.
So I'm glad to be like where I'm at currently. But it's definitely tough, like especially when you work with a lot of men. And what we were talking about is like, you know, if we're about to get a pip, you know, your boss might make a joke like, oh, maybe you show me a little something, and like we're at a point where you're like, oh, that's okay, I'll show it to you, and don't fire me, and like we're okay with it, but like we shouldn't be okay. Well,
Yes.
be okay with it. I'm sorry, let me make a statement. Sexual harassment is not okay.
It is not okay in the workplace. It's not okay ever.
Ever in life.
Well, it's the weird things that we have to think about. We always have to think about other things, whether it's racially, politically. Like, we have to think about things the way people don't. When I got promoted 5 years ago for my role, y'all remember this? My boss, my soon-to-be boss, asked me to take the blonde out of my hair.
Yes.
She said, I think you should take that blonde out of your hair. And I was like, why? I said, number one, everyone that I meet anywhere tells me how much they love my hair.
I hate that.
And I was like, are you? And I'm looking at her, and y'all, and you know her.
She had a different
blonde
color every
in her hair.
A different color every few months.
So she's about your complexion, and she had this fantastic weave that she wore. It was beautiful. She looked great.
Oh,
but she's telling me to take mine out. And I remember thinking, like, at first, like, well, you have yours. And I didn't say that, but she's my boss, and I want to make a good impression. I was like, okay, well, I guess I will. So then I told my stylist, shout out Lauren Asher, like, hey, yo, take the blonde out. I can't do that right now.
To take another step further, there was other women on her team that had color in their hair.
Right.
But maybe they just weren't black.
Maybe that's what it was. So she asked me to take it, and I remember feeling like
problem.
I didn't like that. I was like, so I have to, like, this thing that people tell me they like about me a lot. You're telling me that I have to change it so that I can exist, but you're doing it so I can change it later? Is that what you're saying? Like, I have to wait to do it? Like, what do you mean by that? But then later on, when time would go, I would put some braids in my hair, do something special with my hair. And those same people that she would tell me, they do what, those people do. Like, oh my gosh, your hair, you changed it. It's so great, So it's the weird things you have to think about. And I like, do I need to adapt or like alter myself to make sure that I can fit in this space? But I'm at a point like, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. These in 2020 during the Panasonic, sometimes my hair is up. I'll put on my head wrap. Sometimes I've got my pulled up. Sometimes my edges aren't slicked back when I'm on the camera. Like it is what it is. Like I am. Yes,
make it okay.
I was black when I woke up. I was black when I hit the button.
Like
I'm gonna be black when I close this computer.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
I'm not gonna any different. If I go into the office next week, I'm still gonna be this person. So it's like you have to take me how you take me, because I take you the same way.
Exactly.
Right.
And the fact that we make those considerations is ridiculous.
Zane's got like a baseball cap on the call,
Right.
and hasn't brushed his hair in a week, and it's
He all
fine.
right.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Literally on my team, everybody talks about, oh, you have a different hat on every week, and I'm like, yeah, because he hasn't brushed his hair, obviously.
What about as we're moving, we're kind of moving through all of this. You're raising a little person, so raising a girl. So she will be at some point in the future. Like it terrifies me to raise children, especially girls right now.
Yeah.
So how do you what are those whatever you're willing to say? How do those conversations look for you?
Yeah. One day at a time. One day at a time. I will say that in the very, very beginning, she's going to be 12 in July. So in the very beginning, I put a lot of pressure on what I thought in my head it was supposed to look like. So in my head, even though I wasn't going to be with her father, I was supposed to be in a relationship. We were supposed to be getting married. And what that led to me being in a very toxic relationship. So I realized that, this isn't the ideal thing. Like, she doesn't need to be seeing this. Luckily, she was so little, she never remembered, so thank God for that. It's a roller coaster ride, and you have to. I'm very faithful, so I pray a lot. I talk to God like He's my best friend, and that's honestly how I've survived it. That's how I've managed it. I think I've done a pretty decent job. She talks nice to me. She treats her her people, her family well. She treat whatever her friends well. Take it one day at a time. Realize that just as it's their first time being a kid, it's your first time being a parent. If you're a first time parent, and just do your best. Don't put in your head what you think you're supposed to do. I've learned many, many years ago to get that away from my way of thinking. Like, I'm supposed to be doing this, supposed to be doing. Yeah, I've come up with my own plan. So that's it. Day by day, come up with your own plan. If you're religious, hopefully you are. Keep God first. Pray about it. Ask Him for the path.
Yes. No. That's good. That's good stuff. Any other comments there? Do we have anything else that's? But it's a heavy subject. Some people it gets a little heavy.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get real heavy.
No, not you. No, you did not.
No,
it's heavy because it's very real.
I think it's important that instead of, I think personally, bogging children down with so much stuff, like especially girls, like you're gonna deal with this, and this. I don't think that they need to know all that immediately.
Not
I feel
immediately.
like it definitely you're gonna be doing it as it comes. So as a girl, she's gonna be going through things, but you don't need to just lay it all on her immediately. If anything, just right now, starting with her seeing herself represented in the media, her understanding that women can do anything, and then also just knowing that she has the opportunities to do anything, and I feel like that's a good place to start, and then moving on from there.
Exactly. So touching on that, I didn't really, hit on that, but yeah. So from like day one, from when Madison could speak and understand a conversation, it was, you can do anything you want to do. You are most likely. I mean, I've been telling her she's better than men. I've been telling her women are better than men, and so she will say it and act. She believes it.
Yeah.
She's like, women do it better. Why wouldn't they just ask a woman to do it? I'm like, good. They should have. They should have, Madison. She wants to own her own business. I try to teach her things as we go. You know what I'm saying? She's had her monthly dues already, so we've had to discuss that. But it's never been. I've always been very factual with her. Like with body parts, with things that happen, and it's been me and her. We've been growing up together, so I just do it as it comes. But she'll be going into middle school soon. And this summer,
The lion's den.
Right, exactly. I think how long have I been like contemplating this sex conversation?
It's been a couple months.
Oh God.
Because when did y'all start talking about sex? Middle school, right?
Yes,
Am I
I was
tripping?
terrified.
Middle
Probably
school.
middle school, yeah.
Terrified.
So the last thing I want, that's where I heard it from. So I don't want her hearing it from there. I want to have that conversation. I want to be able to steer it, and
But then you think, oh, my precious little baby, I don't want. That's gonna be so hard for me.
Yes.
Kid,
I'm still trying to figure out how I'm supposed to explain a penis inserting into a vagina.
Well, if they're not going to get
I
it from
don't
you,
wanna
they're
do
going
it.
to get it from
Respectfully.
TikTok.
Yes, respectfully.
Sorry,
They're going to get it from
respectfully.
TikTok. They're going to get it
Right.
from Instagram. So you might as
But
well
that friend
tell
in
them.
school that's doing it,
Right.
what
Right.
the
They're
hell?
going to
That
get it from
part.
Snapchat. All of it.
So that's currently what I'm most stressed about, actually.
No, that's good. Being able to train up any little kids. When your daughter, whenever I'm goofy a lot, but with certain things, I'll tell her things sometimes, but and I say that because I'm like, you're a little person that this is my opportunity to give you this little dose, and all I can do is hope that she remembers it and takes it to heart and uses it at some point in the future. As silly as it might seem, I like that. That's the only part I can do. She's here in my life all the time, so let me just drop this little nugget here. But you have to do that though.
Shit, remember that.
Yeah.
I'm just playing.
That's how it used to be.
Right.
Some of y'all all right.
No, but you have to do that because someone did it for us, and we have to make sure that's where the change comes. You have to because we're at a point, the people that we're working through the struggle.
Right.
The change is in these people that come after us.
Exactly.
So we have to put it in their heads that we are the same, we are equal, we can do more, we can do better, we do deserve better. And when
Normalize it.
when they come through, it's going to be like, oh, this is fine.
Right.
Versus there's not going to be a steel door or a glass ceiling. They're walking through it.
We should have
If
already shattered
exactly.
it for them.
Yeah.
We shatter it, and we might not feel the effects of it. I might still be working my normal ass job, but my daughter she'll be running the company, and that's the plan. And it's okay that I don't get to experience. That's fine. Just like our parents did whatever they did, and they don't experience what we experience.
Absolutely.
But we're doing it, and that's how it goes, and we have to continue that. As difficult as it may be, but that's why we got our first. We got Kamala in the White House. Jill is the first lady. Jill's a doctor. Jill ain't concerned with nothing that Joe doing from day to day. She's at the college teaching.
Right.
She is clocking in at the college teaching her classes, and so it's just she is her own. Yes, it's me, Dr. Jill. How's Joe? Who? So
the husband's fine.
yes, my husband, he's fine.
Not
Whatever.
April.
So it's we are our own people, and we don't have to be. I wrote the word marginalized a lot of notes. We don't have to be marginalized. We have been marginalized. We don't have to stay that way.
Yeah.
The cool thing about margins is that they can be written over.
There you go.
And that's where we are at this point. Let's write all over those things. Run through them. Rip it up for all I care.
Because they don't need to exist.
Right.
Exactly.
Page. Yeah.
And one way that we see that folding out is in Hollywood, in books and literature and movies and things like that. So to kind of take a weight off it, Hollywood tells our stories. Shout out to Nikki, you gave us this idea. This was your idea, and how Hollywood tells our stories. Who do we love to see on screen telling women's stories, and who do we hate?
I love Issa. She just.
Oh yeah.
I mean, first of all, I just drool over her skin.
Yes.
Yes.
It's so fantastic.
But, I mean, I feel like I see myself in her and just her life and what she goes through. And I think she portrays that very well, shows every part of it. Okay, show me the cool thing, show me you coming up, and show me once you've made it. So I love Issa for sure. She's definitely one of my top actresses.
Yes.
I love the transition because, again, not only is Issa She's she's Black woman. She's a woman, but now she's our age.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
And now it's
That's the
getting
thing, too.
younger because it's so weird to even think and fathom that like our stories have been told by old white men,
Yes.
Very true.
and I don't understand like how that was able to go on for so long.
Girlfriends was Frasier.
Yes,
Frasier
he had
is
an
the
idea
creator of
and he might have
Girlfriends.
talked to somebody
Right.
else, and he
Yes.
was like, you know what?
That sounds good.
That sounds good.
I'm pretty sure this is what they do.
I had a sassy black
I'm gonna
woman that
bring
lived
on
was
some
my
people to
neighbor,
make
and
sure
I
it's
would love a
legit.
show
Right.
based on her.
Right.
Right.
So I think
Okay.
that's important.
Interesting.
But again, I'm always gonna just be very frank. Like, any women, period. And I right now, like, I love Regina King, and I love how
yes.
she just decided that she's just.
Very
I'm gonna start directing stuff.
Right.
Yes.
Because I mean, Ava is God.
That's my one.
Ava DuVernay is.
That's my answer, yes.
Right. So you can speak on her, but just like even going back to other people, like Regina King has now just like dipped her toe in it, and she's wanting to tell stories, but just women in general. And I made a note because I didn't know this, and I can't believe I didn't know this, that Love and Basketball was directed by a woman.
Nice.
Her name is Gina Prince Blythewood.
I did not
Did
know
y'all know
that.
that?
I
I
did
didn't
not
know
know
that.
that.
One
Very
of my
cool.
favorite movies.
Yes.
She
Nice.
wrote and directed it.
Fantastic.
And
Nice.
as much as people love that movie, I'm
my
sure a lot of
gosh.
people didn't know that.
Nobody knows that.
So, I mean, for that to
Wow.
be such an iconic movie, you know that, like, there's something there.
And that was
Yes.
20 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's crazy.
And even then, like, you don't hear her name. And granted, it could be because she just doesn't want to make any movies
Yeah.
anymore or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's such
Wow.
an iconic movie. So, overall, Hollywood, as long as there are women telling our stories, I think they're going to be as accurate as possible.
Right.
And now that like it's becoming the norm, I think that is a big deal. And I'm always looking at like, for example, like the Golden Globes just passed, or I'm looking at the Emmys. I don't really care about who's winning as long as there is a woman like at
Yes.
the table.
Yes.
Because I think with the Golden Globes, like women won. Like Regina King was nominated for anything that she's ever directed, but then there was another Asian woman that actually created
She
some
won.
stuff, and she ended up winning
for director. Yes.
Exactly.
Whatever.
So
I don't remember the movie.
I
but
support
yes.
it because
Yes,
a woman
all
made
day.
it.
Right.
All day long.
Because it's giving a different perspective, and whatever the race is, it's still a different perspective than what has usually been told forever. And so for me, it's just as long as the story that you're telling is authentic.
Yes.
And so usually directors that are not men, not white men, will tell stories of what they know. So
Yes.
granted, you have black directors who are going to make black movies. That's just the way it is. And then you have women directors that usually are going to want to make stories where like the woman is a protagonist. And I support that, and I think that needs to be a norm.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We shouldn't have to be waiting to the end to like get excited about a movie because a woman directed it.
Correct.
It should be a norm.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents. on that.
100%. Ren, what you got?
When it comes to Hollywood, maybe not one particular person, what I like to see is women taking charge and like not putting up with no shit.
Yes.
One of my favorite movies to this day is Enough with J-Lo in it.
Yes, that is actually a really
And
good
judge
movie.
me if you will.
No, it's good.
But
It's me, Mitch.
oh yes, knock his ass. Oh my god, I'm sorry. I love that movie. When Angela burns the car down. That, all of that.
Waiting Days.
Yes, all of it.
This motherfucker is psychotic.
We're and one. I think we get downplayed because we're quote unquote emotional.
Emotional,
But
yeah.
first of all, how are you gonna blame us for caring about you? Like, fuck you.
Right.
Like, you gonna make fun of me because I cared for you?
Right.
Really?
The nerve.
The nerve, the audacity.
Oh my gosh.
So
good.
when I see women like, I cared for you, I was hurt, and then like pick themselves up.
Yes.
That's what I love. I love to read about it if I'm reading and not binging Netflix. But
So a different kind of story.
yes,
Yes.
I want to see women, kicking ass,
Exactly.
and taking charge. That's what I love.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm a super fan of everything you guys have said. All of those things are fantastic. So I won't hammer it too far. But you mentioned Ava DuVernay. I love her. I don't know where she
brilliant.
came from. I don't know, but I'm so glad that we have her, and the talent that she has to tell our stories has been absolutely fantastic. She's taken up the mantle and she's done so well. The characters, Queen Sugar came back And the way that she's got like 3 different main character women on that show, and they're all different.
Yes.
There are 3 different types of people, and they argue and they fight. But it's so real.
It's relatable.
It's very relatable. Issa she does a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
So I love all of that. Like I love anything that makes where I can see myself.
Yes.
And it doesn't as you said a while ago, Nikki, like I'm a black woman first, yes, and that's the most important thing that I see first. But also, as long as it's something that's identifiable to me, like as a woman, if I can see myself in it, I'm gold. I'm sold on it fully.
Yeah.
I love it. So yes, all of those people, Issa, Ava, women kicking ass. Regina, who else? There's somebody. Shonda has done a lot of things for us.
I was thinking just movies, but
Yes.
Shonda.
No, Shonda has done her thing. I do have slight beef with Shonda. I don't know. I'm not going to go too far in with that.
No, I got beef.
Currently, well, Shonda tells stories. She does a really good job.
She's got a
telling us-
wheelhouse that she just
she
sticks
tells
in.
a story in general. I don't know how I feel about how she tells black stories, but she tells stories very well in general. And the women she has her protagonists,
Yeah.
Meredith Grey is her famous protagonist. Right. But how she does other black women, I'm a little concerned about that. But I'm not going to go there. That's like a whole. I could do like a half an episode.
You're right. I will be
Shonda.
on the asset of
Yes.
the black people on Grey's Anatomy.
Yes,
She does do them well.
or I get.
I think Bailey is a good depiction of that
She's not
black
on-
woman that you don't usually see.
She's not on this. Shonda is not directing the current season of Grey's Anatomy.
What?
She's not. Shonda's not
I
on this current
missed that.
season. She's got Bridgerton.
She was
so
busy
she
with
went
Bridgerton,
to Netflix,
which is also great.
so this current
I have
season.
not watched it yet.
Bailey, Maggie, Jackson, all of the black characters on Grey's Anatomy in this current season, they all have these crazy pivotal moments where they are like taking their stand as black people. And Shonda never did anything like that.
Interesting.
So if you and you don't necessarily have to even know really other things. If you're
Their
not caught up,
storyline.
that's okay.
Okay.
This current season that they're doing, they've had these heavy moments where they're just like, my blackness is here. I'm in this space. And I'm like, I don't know who's directing these, but it's not Shonda. She has nothing to do with this season. She left.
I'm shocked. I need to watch
But
this.
whoever it is like, no, we're telling these and we're letting them shine through. And they're responding like black people that I know. And I have been loving that. But Shonda never did that. She tells a great story.
Right.
I won't take it from her. She has
Shonda,
an
get it
excellent
together,
story.
because I didn't know this information.
I,
I didn't.
I think it needs to be known, though. I think for black women, for white women, we were always told in a certain light. Either somebody's husband, somebody's daughter, and that was it. That's what we did.
but now
You know.
we're so much more.
Right.
And it's good to get out there and see us differently. So yeah, it's only getting better because women are out here. Lena Waithe has her own, was it Hillman Productions? She has her own production company.
Yeah.
Now, women are killing it. We're out here ready.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
There's enough room for everyone to get in there and kind of carve their way.
Yeah.
Whatever shows that women are on, like Tracee Ellis Ross is on Blackish.
Oh, yeah.
She produces and directs a lot of those episodes.
Yeah.
Going down to
Taking those
Yara
opportunities.
Shahidi being on Grownish. She took the same cue. She talked about that a lot. Like, I'm going to go ahead and do this too. So we're finding our way.
Marche.
Wherever we can find. There,
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Marcia-
Marcia
out here being
my
2 years
God.
old.
She
makes
is-
She is 12.
She is who I wanted to be when I was 15.
Right.
If I
Right.
could have been as a minuscule, like a tiny amount of cool as she is. Oh my gosh. Are we on Heroes?
Same.
She my hero.
Oh, she's on the hero list? Yes. Add her to the list.
That's what I want to be when I get older.
Right.
But so speaking of that, speaking of women that we applaud and that we enjoy, who are our heroes? We're winding down. Who are heroes? Who do we? It's Women's History Month. This is our month. It should be our time all the time, but specifically they gave us 31 days, definitely. So who we shouting out?
I'll go. First and foremost, all the women before us, white, black, Asian, anybody who's cracked a ceiling, done something different that we can be here today.
Yes.
Talking about saying the things that we're saying without getting arrested or, whatever.
Yes, we're nasty women.
Nasty women or put up on a cross, I guess, as witches or whatever they used to do back then.
Oh,
To get
yeah.
too deep. Also, my grandmother, shout out to her. That'll be Mama Sue. That's my hero. Shout out to you. You didn't have to do it, but you did.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
I like it that it's Momo.
Oh yeah, it's Mama. It's Mama. MAW, just in case anybody needed to know.
No, that's good. What you got, too?
I'm gonna say the same. My all the women in my family are definitely my heroes. Just like my mom had me when just her, like, raising me. I never felt like I lacked anything. And just with the women around my family, they just taught me so much and really made me who I am. You know, I see other women out in the world, but I really can't say what they've done has formed me as a person. Yeah. Like, I can look to them and say, oh, I really like that you did this. I really love that you made this stride in life. But the women in my family definitely have impacted me in a way that I love and that I will continue to push forward to my family whenever that does happen.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
And I hate that we always have to preface that it sounds cliche, but it is how we feel. I think that we were all raised very similarly, where like our family is what like brings us up and raises us. So of course, that is what is going to be looking like a hero to us. Right. And heroes can mean and look like a lot of things. And for us, it's more like when things happen, who perseveres, who breaks through, who's supporting you, all those different qualifications. And so for me, of course, I'm going to say definitely my mother, definitely any women in my family that have all had different experiences. But of course, I want to always throw a caveat. For me, I thought, who was a hero to me?
Oh God, I'm nervous.
No, it's not bad. It's not bad. I just thought back to my younger.
The smile. I wish you guys could see.
Because it just makes me so happy to think about it. When I was younger, and we're gonna say probably like 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I was obsessed with Dominique Dawes. Yes, good. She was a black girl who was into gymnastics like I was at the time.
Yeah.
And cool. She was on the Olympic team. She was kicking ass.
That's why you got that cheerleading scholarship for Dominique.
Right. She like paved the way for me because she was in a white space. Like gymnastics was a very white space. And she came in here and was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And so that's why it made me smile. So I was thinking about heroes. Like, yes, my heroes now have changed, but when I was 9 years old, who was my hero? And Dominique Dawes just came into my mind. Like, I love her so much.
Yes.
And I just remember at the time that I was so motivated, and that I wanted a whole gymnastic career. It didn't go that way. Puberty is a bitch, but I wanted to be just like her. So I just wanted to add that in. That great. Like I love her.
Love it. That. No, I accept that. Who did I take? I am no different. I've got, like I said, my mother has 6 sisters. My father has 5 sisters. So those 12 women who are living, breathing, walking this earth every day, they are who I am. There's little pieces of them in me in everything that I do. And both of my grandmothers watching me daily and giving me strength and pushing me. I found that the older that I get, I've got my mother's care, the way I care for people. I got that from my mom's mom, and I know that now. And I for a long time I struggled, like, what did I get anything from it? But I know now that's what I got. Super caring, super just, she didn't meet a stranger, open her home to anyone. My father's mother, found out recently in the last couple of years she loved her whiskey and her bourbon, as do I. But also she was funny. She was super social. Everyone like a comical person. I was like, okay, that's me. Got it. So those 14 women have poured into my life in so many crazy ways. But to Nikki's point, one of the name I put on my vision board earlier this year was Toni Morrison. And there's a quote by her, and it's, if there's a book that you want to read but it hasn't been written yet, then you should write it. And I read that quote years ago when I first started writing. And it was real for me then, not so much in the middle part, but now I put it on my vision board because I want to start writing again, because she is someone who wrote a lot of things throughout history of my life. So many things that have been written since then, for like that she's been a part of and done. Waiting to Exhale, we've already talked about. So it's just like these little, and she's someone who's been around in the writing world that I notice a lot. So I admire her as a writer. So she's one of those people in this current point in my life that I'm like, you know what? Let me pick my pen up and get back to doing this thing here. So that's my present day. But speaking of time and how things go, we're young. You know, we talked about being older and getting older, but we're not that old. You know, you're as old as you feel.
We're real young.
Well, you are young. Youngish. But
I don't like the way you said that.
You mean to edit it up?
I do.
We'll see, but I'll consider it.
We're young.
No, you're as young as you feel, but our legacies. as women, knowing other women, raising other women, as we go through life, whoever has these babies next, what legacies are we giving off? What are we passing on? Yes. Touch your nose.
That's funny. I guess my biggest legacy I want to leave is just that I touched and made a difference in someone's life. Yes, I'm really big on outreach and community, and to know that maybe this one meal that I packed for this person, or this one chat that I had with this young kid, actually made a difference in their life. They felt seen, they felt wanted, they felt like someone cared for them. If I definitely want to leave the legacy of just that people know that there was someone who cared about you. That's really my biggest thing. When I saw this question, the Beyonce song, I Am Here.
I love. Yes,
very much.
I just want people to, my legacy just be like, she cared for me, or she cared. I felt like
that's what's up.
She looked after me. I felt like she wanted to know me. I think that's
Oh, I love that.
I love that. That's good.
Absolutely.
I love that.
That's really
awesome.
good.
Yes.
Let the record show I want to be Tiff when I get this.
No, I guess we're all similar in that way. Like, I want to be someone who was, anyway, I'm social. I love having my friends and family around me. And I guess that's the person I want to be. And I want to be able to be the person who can, be the friend that you need. If you need a good friend, if you need something done, that's me too. It's kind of still in the works for me because I don't have anyone to pass it on to directly, but the kind of person that I am, I'm super caring. I'm fun. I want to go out here and explore things and learn things and give to people. So I guess a little bit of that is probably very similar for me, whatever that looks like, because that's the kind of person I am, I guess. Like, I exist out here. If you need something, what is it that you need? I got you. All right, cool. So, and I don't ask a lot of questions.
I'd vouch for that.
So, so like, if you're someone that I've decided that I do anything for you, you have nothing to worry about. And then other people, when it comes to outreach and doing things, like, I have no problems doing those things either, because it's important, because everybody needs something sometime. So that's me. I'm out here for the people if you need me.
For the people.
And it'll evolve as time goes. Yeah. If I have some little people to pass it on to, it might change a little bit, but it's always going to be at the core.
That's what I was about to say. That's a fully loaded question.
Yes.
That's something I think that grows with time, and it can change with time, you know. For me, the legacy I want to leave behind, I do want to leave behind a caring, and, you know, when my great grandchildren, hopefully, you know, it'll be a blessing if they even know who I am. If they think, you know, she was very kind and sweet, but ultimately I want to build, I want to build wealth. So, and I would like to pass that down to my daughter.
Nice.
And I would like her to know how to do it and do it the right way, and pass that down to her family. So that's kind of what I'm focused on currently, and what I'm trying to, like, build into her. But not, you know, I think a lot of times too we look at it as like these greedy people, but you know,
If you're a regular person, it's different.
Yeah, I mean, and I grew up pretty, you know, we were pretty poor. So I think you're pounded in the head when you are poor that these people are just greedy and mean, and
Right.
But really that's you know, if you read the Bible, you know, again, bring up the Bible, but it's God's way of handling money and being responsible with it and taking care of your family and your next generation. So that's what I want to, you know, enlist in her, and that I hope she enlists in her family, is being responsible with it, and being generous with her money, but also taking care of what she's supposed to take care of. So
Nice.
That's good. Some people always say that, like, desiring wealth is, like, again, like the word you use, greed.
right.
Like, you can totally desire wealth, and you can desire it in a way where it benefits you in a positive way. So I like that you said that. For me, I think the legacy that I want to leave is probably just to always pursue happiness.
Yes.
And I know that sounds like very cheesy. Pursuit of happiness, pursuit of positivity, because
be content.
yes,
and what you currently
exactly
the process. Yeah.
because it's very easy to kind of settle for things and to kind of do always what you need to do just to get by.
Yeah.
But I've just had that kind of shift in my mental thought that I just want to be happy.
Yes.
And what do I need to do to be happy? It doesn't necessarily need to be all these things, but what are those things?
Yeah.
And so having the thought process of what is that makes me personally happy, I want someone else that comes after me to know that she was happy and she pursued those things.
Yeah.
So if that is a job, an interest, a family,
Nice.
whatever it is, as long as you're able to pursue that and obtain that and be happy, if you want to be president of the United States, if that's going to make you happy, then do it.
Do it,
But
baby.
as long as they know that, that is what, for me, means that you've fulfilled your
Yes.
life. I feel like if
Yes.
you live a life and you're not happy, then I personally feel like you've wasted your life.
It was all for nothing.
It was all for nothing, exactly.
Money
So-
or no money.
so that's my big legacy, is wanting that, people thinking about me after, whether it's family or friends, is that she was happy.
Yeah.
Whatever she was doing.
There you
I
go.
respect that 100 times. Because people get so caught up in some, it's just
Yes.
like, it's got to be this, it's got to be that. Even when I was doing mine, I didn't think that whatever I said. I don't even remember what I said at this point, but it was because I was still trying to formulate in my head because I'm not sure, but I felt like I needed to say something, and that is fantastic. And I would have been completely fine with something like that. Like I'm me. I'm happy. I'm doing whatever I'm doing. I think that's good. People think you have to say something super profound. No, that's in itself, being happy and existing in the person that you are is fantastic.
I'm looking at your wall. Grateful, thankful, and blessed.
That's me.
If
Being
that's
grateful.
you, then that's it.
And look who gave me that. Where's she at? That's me. See? No, that's good.
Grateful is a whole world.
It
I
is.
Mean, word. That's
It is.
To be happy, you
Yes.
gotta be grateful.
You mentioned writing in your journal, or when we first started, that's one of the things that you're doing. Practicing gratitude is super, super important.
Very much.
And whatever things we come across as women, as people, doing little gratitude exercises, reminding yourself the things that you don't think about all the time. I think about the fact that I moved over here to this crazy place that I was like, I want to move over here. I'm so excited to move here. And then the fucking, the Penelope Cruise happened and I can't go anywhere, can't do anything. But I'm here though. And those are people who know me, who've known my journey to get to this point where I'm at. It took me a long time to get here. So it's fine. I'm happy here. Yeah. The happiness, standing in what you know that is good for you and being okay with that. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Maybe I don't have whatever my 12-year-old self thought I would have.
Yeah.
But myself was 12 years old.
Exactly.
My-
We didn't know nothing.
Right.
Right.
34-year-old me knows exactly what I
I'm
want.
supposed to be married and exactly.
Yes.
3 kids.
12-year-old me didn't know what 3 kids would look like. 34-year-old me does, and she don't want it.
She don't want it.
Y'all remember those things we used to write where we do what car?
Oh, the
MASH.
Mash.
Mash was that.
Oh
that
my
was it.
God.
I'm supposed to be in a mansion
Man.
with Brad Pitt.
With,
And he had
8
problems.
kids.
Brad Pitt got a lot of problems. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have time for that.
I'll still marry him.
Okay.
Okay, you keep Brad Pitt. Yes.
See, and that's, we have
You
this
like what
time.
you like,
You're a
and
woman.
it's
That's your
fine.
choice.
That's your
That's your
choice.
right.
I'm like, he gonna be real busy. I'm gonna stay on the other wing, so it ain't gonna matter.
But it's good. This has been this shit right here. Ladies, that was fantastic.
Fun stuff.
That was
I love it.
fantastic stuff. Thank you guys so much for being here. People out there in the world, hope you listen to it.
Yes.
Men, if you stayed this long, fellas, thank you for staying
We
this
do
long.
love
They
men.
should if they want to learn something.
Right. Yes,
That's it.
that woman you living with, that woman that you married, the woman who mothered your children, that woman you think about texting back, text her back. She got a lot to say.
That's right.
Times
are changing.
And listen to
And
it.
we're changing.
Listen to the
Yes.
response.
Yes. Do not listen to respond. Listen to understand when you talk to that woman. Okay. When you talk to her, talk to her. Okay.
Talk to her nice.
Talk to her nice. We're gonna take a
baby.
quick pause right here and give a shout out to another woman who's doing something cool out here. It's our food moment coming up next.
It's your
FUBU moment. FUBU moment.
It's your
FUBU moment. FUBU.
Ooh, that was our FUBU song. Y'all love it. Yeah, please let me know out there in Pod World if you love our FUBU song. Okay. Did y'all hear us hitting them notes? Okay. We hit them notes. Our FUBU moment today is dedicated to, first and foremost, a young lady by the name of Maya Shaka, who is the first black female game official to be hired by the National Football League. That is the ever racist NFL. But they are doing their best to get better.
Sexist, man.
The racist and sexist NFL. But Maya Shaka is out here doing her thing. She was hired for the 2021 season. She came out of the Pac-10 NCAA, and the NFL picked her up. She was featured on ABC as their Person of the Week this week. So shout out to you, Maya, for your love of sports, for your love of women, for your love of doing things. I love it. I think that's really, really cool. Women who get hardcore into sports. Also, low key, shout out to my cousin who I know listens to you out there working in Minnesota for the Timberwolves. You do the shit too. Hope to see you out there real soon. Hey. Nancy, you're standing over me. You better do something. I can't trust you.
She's just real hype. She's excited about all the women that are now coming into male spaces when they don't want us to.
Yes.
What's this woman doing here?
You know what? I feel like so segue. There is a black woman now in a NASCAR pit crew. Yeah. She's the first woman, and if she's a black woman, she's not going to be playing no mess.
Right.
No.
So anything that they got going on that they're talking about, and she's there, she's like, no, we're here to work. We're here to do this.
Change that turn, go.
So shout out to all the first.
Yes.
All the first women that are taking up male spaces.
Yes. Love that so very much.
Because we do it better, just...
It's probably
chances
better,
are,
and it's probably faster.
Yes,
it's better,
more efficient.
I think that's
how I'm raising my daughter.
Well, that's the thing with us because as the woman, we're running the things typically, so we figure out ways to make things work in ways that men don't think about them. Because they're methodical. They're like this is this A B C D. We're like, look, I don't have time for B or C. I have to get to D right now. How can I do that? That is us. So here we are. I will not be deterred. Podboard, you can't see us. We're not on video. But I am being tested, and I'm not going to fail. This has been episode 12, season 3, Nights at the Round Table. We're wrapping up this thing out here. Ladies, thank you guys so much for being here.
Always a pleasure.
So much fun.
It has been wonderful. Like I said, fellas, if y'all have listened to this long, you heard some good stuff.
Ladies, do it better.
Pay attention.
Yes, pay attention. Yes, and that woman, you got, what's today? By the time you hear this, it will be the 15th. So you spend these next 16 days honoring whatever woman that you know.
Every day.
Don't forget when April 1st hit, which is also Nancy's birthday, shout out.
It's still Women's Month.
It's still Women's Month. It is Women's Time.
Yes.
We are here. We're not going anywhere. We brought you here. Don't forget that.
Don't yes.
Hey.
You couldn't get here without us. So keep that in mind. But thank you guys for being here. The playlist is coming. Our Ladies' Choice playlist.
It's going to be so good.
It's going to be real good. Y'all keep a lookout for it. We have all some favorites, some normal, some new stuff on there. All of our episodes are out here. Like I said, this is episode 12, seasons 1 and 2, episodes 1 through 3. I'm putting some lipstick right now.
Oh, yes, it's ladies' night. Oh,
I hate this. Nancy is physically accosting me right now in my own house.
But you're used to it because you've had to deal with it your
I've had
entire
my
life.
whole life. I've always been attacked as a woman. Yes.
Absolutely not.
The most. My hair is not real. Please don't do that.
You scared me.
The most hated person in America is the black woman. And Nancy is proving it as another black woman, which is very strange. But no. We're out here. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hit us up. We talk back. If anybody wants to shout yourselves out, what you got, ladies, as we sign out? Anything you want to say?
Child, I ain't got nothing. I'm just out
No,
here.
child.
I mean, we all just out here.
Right.
I mean, we'll be tagged. We out here.
Cool. Yes. Thank you guys.
social media
Cece,
is
Nancy,
private,
thank you guys for being here.
You're welcome.
What else can I say except you're welcome?
You're welcome.
No, we're getting out of here. Nights at the Round Table, season 3, episode 12. This your girl Coley. Who's signing out with me?
Oh, Tiffany. I feel like I want something more cooler than my name.
No, because I was supposed to be quicker than that, but I was stopped again.
It's Miss
Jesus.
Nikki,
Like you
y'all.
It's your girl Tiffany. Hey. I'm done.
I got one.
You got it.
It's your girl MP.
Ooh. Thank y'all for being here. We getting up out of here. Nights at the Round Table. We out.
Bye.
Ow!